times like all you want to do is run. But hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Oh, it's like that at the end. Here we go. My husband says I look like I put my finger in a light socket today, and I'm just like, thank you, husband, for the compliment.
That's the look you were looking for.
I was looking. I'm like a wild child, to be honest with you. Anyways, so you guys, I wasn't planning on doing a live today, but I always say that, right? And then I do one. And then I see Novah doing a live over there. And then I was like, hey, Novah, do you want me to set up a live and do a live in an hour? She's like, sure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. That's how we roll. Anyway, so Novah's joining us today, you guys. Novah has a YouTube channel. I'll post that in a second. It is in the description of this video already. So she, of course, follows the Jack and Lily case. Now, just quickly, Novah, tell everyone where you're from and, again, why, what brought you to this case, obviously.
I am from Stellarton, Pictou County. I live just down the road from the Mountie barracks, actually. And I've always been into true crime. That's been for eons. And of course, you know, having this happen here in Pictou County, not too far from where I live, you know, it's pretty near and dear to your heart. And so you can't help but get involved. I mean, it's somebody in your community, two little babies, and we all want answers. We want to understand why this happened, and you know, how to prevent things like this from happening again. Yeah, so, you know, does there need to be more education in certain areas when we have a better understanding of what took place here, you know?
Yeah.
So
Tell us the rumor mill gossip over there in Stellarton. And
well, most people are not impressed with both Maleyha nor Daniel. And most believe that more so Daniel had something to do with what took place here. And
the shock of it all.
Yeah. And I've, you know, had some, I guess, I don't know if you want to call them sources or people or who I, you know, would truly believe had come to me and had said that he was involved with drugs and, oh, I'm sorry, you want us to use codes, rugs.
No, you can say that.
And, but to me, what I do on my show, I don't like to go with I need, and it's a nursing thing too. I need things to be evidence-based. So for me, it has to be, you know, fact evidence. And I'm much like you in the sense that it doesn't mean what, if it come out of Daniel's mouth, it's a fact that Daniel said it. What he's saying might not be fact, the blanket wasn't Lily's, and then, well, yes, it is Lily's. But it's a fact that he said it. So that's fact, right? But that's the direction I like to go. So I didn't want to put that out there or discuss it, because to me there was really no fact, and you have to watch what you say and stuff like that. So I knew
Yeah.
it would eventually come out.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, so again, if it's fact, we'll show receipts and stuff like that. If it's not fact, it's speculation. You guys know this by now. You guys know the drill. Okay, never accuse anyone of having something to do with it, and say that that's fact. It's not. There's no fact at all to any of that. Nobody's been charged, whether it's been Maleyha or Daniel, or if it's been a whole different scenario altogether. Highly unlikely. But again, just never literally go and accuse somebody. I already did that in the Delphi case, like the other 90 people. It was my first time even covering a case, really, besides, Suzanne Morpheus. But I mean, honestly, that one was clear as day. But still, it's a learning curve sometimes, right? It's been 5 years. But, I've learned my own lessons throughout it. And I'm grateful for that. I've grown as a content creator that way, because you kind of, like anything, like working at a job, right? You start off a job, you don't know stuff about it, maybe a little bit, and then someone trains you, then you get to know a little bit more, then you start working there for a year, then you get to know pretty much almost everything. And, but there's always room for learning and growing. And I will always do that, no matter how old I get, because I appreciate knowledge and I appreciate learning things, and growing with that. Now, in saying that, if you guys have not hit that like and share button, please do it for Jack and Lily that are on your screen right there. Please also be grateful for any family members that are speaking out. Again, even if it's fact that they're saying it, doesn't mean it's truthful of what's coming out of their mouths. And I take everything, regardless, with a grain of salt that they say. I take all the information, and then I try to spiral the truth out of the lies. There's clearly lies by Daniel, by Maleyha. That is fact, because those ones have receipts to show that's now. Do we know why they're lying? Well, they got something to hide. Obviously, that's the truth right there. So if this is a case about 2 missing children and people are lying about it, okay, obviously, well, that's pretty sick and twisted in itself. I don't care who you are when it comes to children, and these 2 beautiful children before you, and they were under the care of Daniel and Maleyha, and they want to start lying and stuff like that. Regardless, that's sick and twisted, because that means that they're putting themselves ahead of the children. So what do you care about more, getting caught up in your lies or the children? So my thing is, these children, the person that they're important to are the people that truly want to find answers, like Belinda and any other family members out there that truly want to have an understanding about where these lies meet the truth. And it will come out, and there's $150,000 reward, dingle, 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 for anyone out there that wishes to come forth and give information to what happened with Jack and Lily. Thank you guys all for being here today. Miss Dog Lover. Now, I will mention this for Miss Dog Lover. Monday in London is the 20th anniversary, of course, and I'm not going to say the word because I'm going to be YouTube friendly here, but you can spell it BOMBING. Okay, so I'm not going to say it because I know that YouTube is very harsh when it comes to those type of things, just no different than 911 and stuff like that. And so I wanted to bring awareness to anyone that wants to look that up about the 20 years. Again, Miss Dog Lover was in London at that time, and she said, "Hey, Sunny, can you make a mention of this?" So Miss Dog Lover, love you very much. And I'm going to say that again, you guys can look it up, and it's just very horrendous what people can do. That's from Miss Dog Lover, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Miss Dog Lover super chat. £49.99. You're awesome. I'm sorry to distract from the subject, but don't know when I'll be back here. Monday is the 20th anniversary of the London Underground bombings, and I was there. One of the scariest days of my life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Darn, Miss Doglover, just for the sake, of the wording on there, I'm not gonna. I don't want to put the super chat up on screen. Um, okay, just because I know YouTube when it comes to stuff like that. So it just read it out. Thank you, Miss Dog Lover, for that super chat, the $49.99. So yeah, so Miss Dog Lover, she's been a long time friend of this channel, and she's been following us through thick and thin on all the different cases. We covered the Nicola bully over there across the pond, and again, so I can only imagine, Miss Dog Lover, what that must have been like, felt like. You know what I mean? It's no different than remembering the moments of when the Twin Towers and stuff like that had gone down. So anyways, bless you. And I know, of course, that will mean a lot to you. So again, anyone that doesn't know about it, just Google it. See the horrific, ongoings of that event that happened 20 years ago. And bless Miss Dog Lover. And I can only imagine. It's just, honestly, I listened to a portion of it, of the video that she had sent and stuff like that. And what humans can do to other humans, and including in cases that we follow, it's just beyond anything that my brain can ever try to imagine, that people can do this type of thing to others in the world, and it's this. That's why here, you guys, it's very important to me that I have a nice, respectful chat with people that I respect as guests and stuff like that, or friends that are in the chat, that are mods and different things. And it's because this world is already nasty enough. Why do we need to make it nastier than it already is? So that's my grief. So when I get upset and I get passionate about something, children, animals, especially elderly, being a portion of it. And then when it comes to the hate, people always trying to always tear others down, good people down. It never fails. So I try to block myself and try to create a space of this YouTube channel where it's grown-ups acting like grown-ups, being respectful, that we all have the right to have our opinions, but it can always be done in a very respectful manner, how it's being said. And there's joking around, guys, don't get me wrong, and stuff like that, and some people take offense to that, like in yesterday's live when I said to Daniel, get your Pokemon ass up here. Like, give me a break that you're literally going to make, sit there and whine about that comment when so many worse things have been said. And I know it said he had a Pokemon channel, but it's just like, oh my God, did Shirley say that, hypocrite? Honestly, get the hell out of my damn face.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Like, it's just the ridiculousness of something like that, right? Like, oh my God, did she just...
Well,
like,
if that insults you, don't ever go to Dolly's channel.
Well, that's what I mean, It's like, I don't have the time of day for those stupid ass people in the chat at all. It's just like, come on. Amongst, like, again, Daniel, for instance, I had asked him how many times to come up, right? Type of thing. The guy, he never takes the offer. Neither does Janie, for that matter. Why? Well, again, why? Why are you hiding behind that? Why don't you just, like said, man up? You want to speak? You want to come in and say things? I would rather you just shut up, to be honest with you, and keep your comments, because they're just going to get twisted around anyway. And that, but it's like, you give them the opportunity and then they sit there. So I was like, why don't you get your Pokemon ass up here? Right. I mean, if you're going to sit there and chat, right, and then you can never go on anybody's live, that doesn't care if it's this one or not, but you want to beak off in the chats and stuff like that about the truth, right? It's a joke to me.
It is.
You want to tell the truth. These people want to tell the truth, and they want to hide behind stuff.
It's
really. Go ahead.
Bizarre.
Say it again.
I said it's bizarre.
It's bizarre. And it's bizarre because that reminds me of people that are just lying and they
Yep.
can't. So, someone like me, why? Are you afraid that I'm just going to call you out? I'm not going to treat you with disrespect. I'm just going to sit there and go off based upon what you said. So, if you
Yep.
want to speak your truth, just speak your truth, you know? So, it just reminds me, are you scared? Are you guys scared to talk to people face on face or voice on voice? Right? That's what it reminds me of. If you got nothing to hide and these are about the two children and you want to put yourself out there in talking, you know what? This is what I say, grow the heck up. Grow the hell up.
Yep.
It's about two children, eh? Your
Yep.
children that you were in charge of, Daniel. Okay, Janie, you were on the property too. If you have something to say and you want people to hear it, okay. So we know that Darren has done an interview with CBC. I believe that Janie possibly has as well. I can't say concrete on that, but either way, so be it. Perfect. Okay, speak up there. But when you come onto the YouTube land, in a sense, and you want to keep hiding and you want to be a voice, but you don't want to be a voice, and you're playing with children here, that's what bugs me. You are literally at the expense of the children. You want to speak up in the true crime community, but you can't bother to bring your butts on up here and literally say your truth because you're so truthful, right? So that's the part that gets me. I don't play games. It's getting tiring. It's getting old. Sick of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Darren said Janie did do CBC. Okay. So Janie did CBC from her home. I believe Darren traveled to go do his, if I'm not mistaken, on there. Attack of stay-at-home mom investigators extraordinaires. Attack of the stay-at-home mom investigators extraordinaires. I don't even know what that comment means. Do you?
No.
I don't know. But if it's a bitchy comment, I'm going to kick your butt. I'll tell you that much right now. Not in the mood for any of this stuff. Okay. Tired of the crap of these people or ignorant comments and stuff like that. We don't know who did anything. We don't know if Daniel did anything, Maleyha did anything. No, we know that there's, of course, criminal investigation. Obviously, they were in charge of the children that went missing. So it just remains to be seen if there's any charges that are going to be brought there. But are we going to talk about it? Absolutely. Anyways, thank you guys for being here, by the way. And if you guys do say something and I question it, I am pretty heavy-handed on the block button when it comes to ignorant comments. And so are the mods. So again, just keep it as nice as you can. You can have your opinions. Okay, guys? Well, exactly. Right. So if they're putting themselves out there to the news, right, then great. Actually, great. Honestly, because what they say has to be obviously, the truth of what they say, for instance, have given to the RCMP. So I would think you would be a total dumbass if you went on to do an interview and that stuff is, not been said to the RCMP or it's been twisted in a different direction and stuff like that. All right. So to ask you, let me just ask you your thoughts yesterday on what was your take on the Haley half-sister video that was done on Suzanne's channel on TikTok?
Well, I'm glad she's speaking out. At least that somebody on that side of the fence. And I'll tell you what I pulled out of there because I have my notes right here. Sometimes when I'm asked a question on the spot, my brain doesn't want to. So the blanket that was found in the tree was on day 1, she said. So that would be May 2nd, right? Day 1.
Yeah.
And it was quite a distance away. So that tells me that because I kind of wondered, is this true that it could have blown something tore in the garbage and that blew in the wind or whatever? And I kind of pictured if that was the case, it would be just down the road stuck in a tree, but no, it was quite a distance away. So I'm doubting that the wind blew the blanket that far. And she was kind of, saying, well, it's kind of weird that it wasn't seen until they got there or whatever. But the searchers, she said the searchers actually hadn't gotten to that area yet to search, which would, it's the first day, so I could see that they may have not didn't get there yet. But the police had been on that road, so it really doesn't strike me odd that they didn't see it, because when we had the Amber Kerwin case here, and the road that they were looking on searching for her for, I believe it was a couple of weeks. Kent probably knows for 100% how long it was, but they packed everything up and were gone, just the same as with Lily and Jack. The search was done, and it was my brother-in-law, who is a police officer, and his gut was just telling him that she's on that road. So he and another officer went back out there together, just the two of them, and this was after the search was all done and said and done, and slowly, meticulously went up that road, and they saw something that looked out of character. It was something that was broken, or a drag mark or something. Anyways, that caught their attention, and they looked, and sure enough, they found her down over this bank. So, knowing that, it doesn't shock me that in the very first day that a blanket up in a tree could have been missed, without the searchers even being on that road yet. The ATV trail is where she said it was like an ATV trail, that the tree is where the tree was that the blanket was in. So that kind of struck me. I cringed when she said Maleyha has a life to live, has a right to live a life. I'm sorry, but it just, there's no closure here yet. I'm sorry, but there's no closure yet. And she said about Darren spewing stuff, and it's not 100%. Well, was she being sarcastic? Because Darren's always saying, and that's 100%, that's 1000%. Or is she meaning, well, some of it is fact and some of it isn't? And if it is, some of it is, well, what is? And it could just be the stuff, for example, that she had started reaching out to her family to get out of this, relationship, and to get the kids out of there and whatever. Maybe that part of it's true, and there's other parts that aren't. We don't know, right? Because she didn't elaborate. Just overall, in what I'm hearing from her and from what I hear from Logan herself and stuff about Janie, and overall that family themselves, they seem to be, and I don't know if aggressive is the right word, and pushy people. And I noticed, like, getting towards the end, I heard somebody's cell phone was going off. Now, I don't know if it was hers or if it was Susan's. I guess I kind of assumed it was hers, because with Susan being that it's her podcast, I would think she would have her phone turned down or whatever. But you hear the ding dings going off, and then that's when she cut it off and said, I have to go. So I kind of wondered if somebody texting her saying, okay, get off of there or whatever, who knows, right? Can't hear you, Sonny.
Oh, my bad. So sorry. Jackson and Darren, you guys, come on now. Play nice in the sandbox, okay? Don't go insulting each other, guys, okay? Be respectful. I know how Jackson feels about Darren, and Darren, of course, he's going to be underneath attack from people for sure. You guys play nice out there, okay, Jackson? Don't make me kick you back off your horse. Stop it, you guys, okay? Let's just, you don't have to agree with somebody. You don't even have to like the person at all. Honestly, then just block them. But please, I don't want to get into any arguments in the chat. And we're just here for Jack and Lily, okay? We're here for Jack and Lily.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. I just happen to have all my notes written down because I just did my live. And like I said in my live as well, I encourage people on that side of the fence to, keep talking. Don't be afraid. Don't feel
Right.
afraid. Don't feel
Well,
threatened. Speak on behalf of these children. And whether it's you feel they're out there somewhere and need to come home, or whether you feel something nefarious took place and you want justice, speak on their behalf.
yeah. And that's why you guys, like I said, in chat, please, it's about Jack and Lily. It's not about attacking each other. You don't have to respect the person, like the person, or anything. But remember, it's about Jack and Lily, okay? So we'll keep it at that. Now, I am going to play that part when Darren was on the live and talked about the blanket when he was on the live. So I'm going to play that because that's going to, of course, play into because I'm pretty sure he said something about a garbage truck and whatever. I just went to where it started. My recollection is a little bit foggy on it, but I am going to play
Mine
that
too,
part.
Sunny.
Say?
Mine too. I don't 100%.
Yeah.
There's so much information
Thanks,
that's
Laz.
gone out there that it's hard to retain it all.
And Laws, was that to the email? Let me take a look. Again, I want to thank. Oh, okay, yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. Is it on Messenger? Let me see if it's on Messenger. I think it's on Messenger here. Yeah, 1 second. My Messenger always wants to refresh. I probably should show. Let me just pull up the Messenger here. Where'd she go? There. Okay. And probably just gonna, okay, I'm gonna pull up the picture. I'm just gonna do that part first. Okay. And figure it's probably a good idea to do that. Now, probably perhaps do it up this way. 1 second. Thanks, Laws family. Appreciate that. Thank you guys. Again, a couple things here, if you don't mind, as well. This is the website, for the fundraiser for Lana, for Bree, and for the bracelets, for the decals and the keychains. Help support with the GoFundMe if you want. Go to the GoFundMe, donate. Then you got to email Alana King_8229 at hotmail.com. So if you guys want to check out the website, of course, Belinda is behind this 1,000%, and that's, what I want to say that quickly too about Belinda. Okay. This has been a long haul for Belinda. And I speak for Belinda because that's the one that I talk to. Okay. Any other family members that are watching this or come across this, don't get me wrong. I have the biggest hearts for anyone that is suffering because of this case and because of these beautiful children that are before us here. So for people that are just so devastated, that are part of the family members, it's been over 2 months, 2 months and 3 days to be exact. So my heart goes out to all of you. And it is just, I'm sure it's exhausting, right? As time goes on, you put up a fight, you expect answers, and it just goes on and on, So for me, for Belinda, it's like the fundraiser means a lot to her. And to Lana, to Bree, to everyone that, well, I'm not trying to take away from anybody here, but I'm just trying to talk about the fundraiser that Belinda supports and is behind. So, right. So that gives her motivation. It gives her something to do, to be part of for Jack and Lily in a positive manner, bringing awareness, selling bracelets and the keychains and that, for the children, for the awareness of what happened to the children, whether they become buddy benches or whether the money goes to the children. So please help and support if you can. If you can't, please at least hit the like and the share. Do that, please, at least while you're in here, right? I think that's only fair. If you're coming for information and stuff like that, this isn't about the channel. This is about Jack and Lily. So please do it for Jack and Lily's sake. If you can't, or don't have any money or can't do anything else, then that's just that little piece that everyone can do their part in different ways, right? So thank you guys very much for all that you guys have been doing, for the people that do hit the like and share, that do bring awareness for these children that are missing, Jack and Lily. So thank you guys so much for that. Now I'm just going to bring up the mapping here. Give me a second. Thank you so much, Laws family. I'll bring it up this way. And and then I'll play that video in a second. I've got to go. Miss Dog Lover, thank you. And again, prayers, blessings. Love you so much, okay? Okay, I love you too. Bye-bye. Great person. Beautiful heart. Beautiful heart. I love beautiful hearts.
Yeah.
Rosebud, she's going to go kick some ass down there and take some numbers when she gets to Nova Scotia. Aren't you, Rosebud?
Oh, you're coming to Nova Scotia, are you?
Yeah. Yeah. She's going to go kick some ass and take numbers. Okay, so let me just hit share screen window. Okay. So let's bring this up. So, of course, 1407 Gairloch Road is the address where Jack and Lily went missing from. Child's boot print found by pipeline is over here. Half of the blanket believed to belonging to Lily found in a tree May 2nd. So just to give you a perception, of course, of where that is. Okay, guys? So this is the home here. Neighbor reports suspicious SUV pulled over in a park. So now that one was debunked by the police already in their scanner. RCMP collect trail. They even actually said the person's name over the scanner who that vehicle belonged to. RCMP collect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just to give you an idea. Now, so
where that's written, that
Yeah.
where half of the blanket is that where that is estimated to be found, that area where that's written? Okay, so that is close to the
About a-
pipeline, because I talked about that in my video. I was wondering if that was near the pipeline trail, because that's a trail, that pipeline. It's a trail where you can walk through ATV, whatever.
Mhm. I was going to say, so when Haley was talking, she said about a mile to 2 miles down
Yep.
from the home. So again, right now, Darren was on a live. He spoke about this blanket. I remember a piece of it. So I'm listening to it again for the first time myself. And I just happened to find it a couple minutes before the live, which live that was on. Thank you to F1 function. Anyways, so let's do that. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to play this out right here. This is where it starts.
There's another little tidbit I can tell you.
What?
Man, you should listen to what Daniel says about the blanket thing that got turned up on the side of the road.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that, please. Because, yeah.
That blanket, out there, they only get garbage. They only get garbage removal like something about once a week, and sometimes not for 2 weeks. So the story is unconfirmed by me, but told to me by somebody who's been telling me the truth over and over and over. So the blanket thing was one of the kids' blankets, but it was pretty bad shape, so they decided to throw it in the garbage. So they got a garbage bin inside the house there, so there was some stuff in the garbage bag, and that blanket was one of the things that was stuffed in the garbage bag. So anyway, Daniel noticed after the kids were gone missing that somebody had gotten into the garbage bag and ripped the garbage bag and went to pull that blanket out of it, but the blanket was rotten, and that's why there's only a piece of blanket. That blanket ended up the road hanging from a tree, and it wasn't there for the first day. Actually, it wasn't there for the first. It never showed up, I don't believe, until the second day on the side of the road. Because don't forget, Daniel's got family that lives up the dirt road, and they travel back and forth. And they said they never saw that. They would have seen the blanket, part of the blanket sticking in the tree. It's like a sore thumb out there.
Right.
And then the boot print. I want to say this. Do you know who found the blanket? The blanket piece in the tree?
We just heard that it was family that took them there.
That's right. Maleyha's friends and family.
Maleyha's.
Do you know who found the boot print up on the pipeline?
Maleyha's friends and family?
Maleyha's friends and family. Do you know, they all the evidence except for one little thing. That the only thing the searchers found, and I'm pretty sure now some searcher might come on here and say, "Oh, I'm full of shit," that they did find something else, but I don't think so. And there was some stuff went missing out of the trailer Daniel checked on too, and he reported this to the Mounties because what he was scared of, that somebody took this stuff, because he was sure somebody planted this evidence.
Right.
And there was some other stuff missing of his, and he was sure that he was going to that somebody was going to try to blame him to make it look like an abduction, and that he did it down the line. So he reported this to the Mounties right off the start to protect. And it was a smart move on his behalf.
Yeah.
He had 2 sweaters, a water bottle, and something else were taken out of his.
What was it about those sweaters? Because you know, obviously when people listen to it, it was something like, well, if there's 2 sweat like that. I mean, obviously he was typing in Dolly yesterday and stuff like that, but he's mentioned something about these 2 sweaters, and it's like, well, if they're found with the kids, you know, it almost came across like I didn't have anything to do with it. She took them with her. So what is it about those 2 sweaters?
Well, that's what he was worried about, that these people, like, they took the blanket, they took the part of the blanket out and set that up to make it look like an abduction down the road. They took the boot print, they set the boot print up on the pipeline to make it look like the kids were in the woods. So they were sort of splitting things up. And there was another couple little things that they found. Now the searchers were all through there, and they never found this stuff. But all of a sudden, Maleyha's half-sister found most of it. Matter of fact, I believe it was Maleyha's sister found everything. I think she found the half sister. I think she found the blanket hanging in the tree. She found the boot print up on the pipeline, and I mean, one boot print up by itself up on a pipeline, and I don't even think it was the right size for the kids. What Daniel tells me. And initially, Daniel denied that was the blanket because he was panicking too. He thought, "Holy jeez, that makes it look like I abducted the kids." So I'm going to say that it wasn't the blanket. But now, see,
because
he's let.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And now he's worried about. He was worried about when he found the 2 sweaters and a water bottle, and I believe there was something else, 1 or 2 things. There was 3 or 4 items missing out of his house, right at that time, and he was sure the same people that were sort of planting this evidence were going to set that stuff up for later on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
And he reported that the first day.
Okay.
So the Mounties had a record of that, and what he was hoping too, and I'm sure the Mounties were hoping, was that when this stuff turned up, they already knew that it was missing, so that would have probably given them a lead on who put it there. So it was a smart move on Daniel's behalf, and it made him look guilty. It made him look stupid, like you just said. A lot of people didn't understand. He wasn't explaining it very clearly as to why what he was talking about in the 2 sweaters a few times in the water bottle.
Right.
But once you talk to him and you get it, you know, you listen to him, and once Daniel relaxes with you, the more you're with him, the more he relaxes and he chills out, and he's easier to understand, and then he feels. Daniel's not overly confident either, as far as like an aggressive man. Daniel's not aggressive.
I see that.
Once you become his friend, he calms down. He gets comfortable with you. I'm like that myself. Some strangers I'm not comfortable with, and I think.
Let's stop it there, because I don't want to get too far on that one. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Novah. Your thoughts about what you just heard?
Well, Darwood's repeating that it was found, and I'm saying repeating because he's just repeating what he was told, right? So if it, you know, to him it's truthful, but that it was the second day, but the person that actually found it is saying it was on the first day, and you know that Daniel had lied and stated that he didn't want to say that it was Lily's blanket because he didn't want to be accused of anything, which to me is unforgivable. I mean, you don't do that with missing children. Everything matters. Lily could have grabbed that and put it in her backpack or whatever the case may be. But now that we know that there was, you know, that he apparently, from what we're being told, had taken methany that day, and you know who methany is, that it makes you paranoid. So it just makes things so much more confusing, because is he lying because he did something, or is he lying because of the methany?
Right.
You know?
Allegedly. Mm-hmm.
So,
well, And that's the thing, right? And this is why. Oh, okay, actually, first I want to go back to this. Um, Again, you guys, I fully support Darren myself here. Beyond Belinda, he is the second most person to me that is actually trying to find answers to what happened to Jack and Lily. That's always been his goal. Now, whether or not you believe, about Daniel's version and stuff like that, because he is repeating information himself, right? That was his whole kind of intent, that he's from Maleyha's side of the family. He thought it was very strange that none of them are talking out. Why is it radio silent over there? He was on a search. He was supposed to meet up with Maleyha. Maleyha ended up bailing. He was talking to Cindy, and because he thought that once his the meetup with Maleyha was supposed to happen, and then he thought, well, like, where else can I go with this, because she really truly is the one that would hold the answers. Then he obviously was rejuvenated and was thinking, well, maybe with a mother, Cindy must know something. And he said that Cindy was bawling and in tears and all that stuff. And then the next day it was almost like, I can't remember word for word. Darren's in the chat though, regardless. But it was basically something like, I'm done with this, and Maleyha's right here. And almost to say, like, what, I'm done with Maleyha and her shit too, in a sense. And, but I'm not talking about this, I'm over it. And it was, I almost got the feeling like this whole situation and with Maleyha stuff and everything like that, it was just like, I'm done. I'm fed up with it too. And that's how it came across. Like, correct me if I'm wrong on that, Darren. So, he meets up, and then he said Janie would not talk to him. That in fact, Janie gave him a fist palm pretty much and said, like, I'm not talking to you. The only people I talk to is the RCMP type of thing. And then he's like, well, whatever, I'm here to talk with Daniel and da-da-da-da-da. And then next thing you know, Janie took, I guess, some trust in Darren and started showing Darren exactly where the pothole was, where Maleyha was, all that stuff like that. So please, you guys, again, we don't know the truth of what happened here. If you feel like Darren is being duped, and he could be, but if you feel like he is and stuff like that, bottom line is, regardless, he's trying to find out what happened to Jack and Lily. And that's why I say this is about Jack and Lily first and foremost, okay? Do not shoot the messenger. In fact, be grateful when any of the messengers are coming out and speaking. It would be nice if Janie and Daniel, if they're going to start talking in Facebook group posts and they want to tell the truth, they have an opportunity. They really do. So apparently Janie's supposed to be doing an interview with CBC on Tuesday or Wednesday. Perfect. Darren has done an interview with CBC. Looking forward to that. The more, if it wasn't for Darren stirring the pot here, regardless, however you want to look at it, he's bringing people out talking. That's what's happening there, because people do not like to be told that they are liars, especially if they know the truth and they're hearing the Martell side speaking out. And now people are starting to come out of the woodwork. Perfect. That's what we want, because the more that people come out of the woodwork and talk, the more the story starts to make sense, the more better understanding we have of that. So be grateful, right? Instead of shitting on Darren, and saying blah, 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 Darren's just repeating stuff. Well, it's more information you would have ever had from the beginning. If none of these people were talking, we would have goose egg, a freaking hockey puck zero, if they weren't talking. But we love the fact that they're talking, because the more that they talk, even if they don't realize it, they're giving us new information, whether you believe it's true. But the point is, you use your brain cells that God gave you, and then you go, look, okay, well, that doesn't match with what Daniel said there. That doesn't, and then within that information, you're going, okay, kind of like what I was saying yesterday, it might not be true, but if Maleyha by chance was in an abusive or controlling relationship and stuff like that, and perhaps say allegedly that drugs were found in the thing, and she did use the word meth. Now, but we're going to replay that part, because there's this little argument in the Facebook group that Cindy was nice enough to screenshot and share with me. Now, I only took out what Haley said because I don't really like to put other people's stuff out there, right? Showing their names and all that, besides the actual people that are out and talking when Haley is Maleyha's half sister. And that's kind of what I did show you guys here as well. Okay, so only because I was too lazy to go back myself and I happened to see this. And I don't know how to say her name. Do you know how to say her name? Shinatra? Whatever. Speaks. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. But you see up there where it says Maleyha Brooks is with Haley. Oh my God. Effing love Haley, sis. My best
Oh,
sister
yeah.
ever. Yeah. Everyone go send her a friend request. She's hot. Okay. But anyway, so this is who we're talking about. We're talking about Haley F. Okay. People that want to figure out her last name, go right ahead. I'm not going to put it out there myself. But Haley is the half sister. So in all this myself too, right? Daniel has said a lot of contradictory things. He knows it. We all know it. Okay, Vanessa, you can't keep denying the fact that he wasn't coerced into lying. All right. I know you stand up for the guy 100,000% and stuff like that, but the truth of the matter is that they're all lying. Okay, we don't know where the truth lies when it comes to Daniel and Maleyha because they are lying. Well,
Hey Francis, super chat.
I'll let you play it out.
Canadian dollars, you're awesome. Thank you. Maybe MBM really doesn't know what happened. I'm seriously started to wonder. What do you think, Sonny?
Well, that's just it. Is I'm at a point now where I am just listening to whatever information comes out. I honestly have no clue. I feel like puzzle pieces are forming, but I honestly can't tell you if I feel like Daniel is a pathological liar and he had something to do with it, or if it was Maleyha that put the kids in a vehicle, or both of them, because they both contrived a story together, right? And then Daniel went off script and, Maleyha went radio silent, but her actions of putting her Facebook down, then up, taking Daniel's pictures off, her wording to Belinda, everything that Maleyha is portraying is that she was in yet another relationship that was not good for her, and that she wanted out. But those are her words. She didn't and same with Daniel in certain ways, but not so much, but a little bit for Daniel, but more so for Maleyha. She had no clue that, Belinda was going to share those messages with me. And that Belinda was like, Daniel's speaking out. Maleyha, she's, what does she have to lose? This is Jack and Lily. So meaning those words, regardless of how Maleyha wanted to perceive them to Belinda, those are the only words we can go by. Okay. So that's our only perception. So at this point, for me personally, I'm just taking the information in. I have no one side, this side, Maleyha did it, Daniel did it, or they both did something. Honestly, I do believe that they're involved in knowing what happened to the children, allegedly, in my opinion. But I don't know where the truth lies. And I'm just listening, and I'm just watching, and I'm just learning from what they're saying. And then I'm taking those pieces and then I'm applying them, because the most truth that you have is at the start when a case happens. And as the case grows, that's when embellishments and other things can get played. So you always want to take at the start of when the case started and their words then and type of thing. So meaning Maleyha's interview, Daniel's interviews, you want to take all that. After that, when they start shifting and turning, right? Now, and again, in Daniel's case, according to Darren, it could be because he was trying to protect Maleyha. My thing is this. I don't give a shit when it comes to Maleyha or Daniel or even Janie and all that stuff, all that noise, when it comes to Jack and Lily. Because if you're not saying stuff and you're lying about the situation because of Maleyha, that just shows really how pathetic the situation is, because the truth isn't being told. And this is about two kids first and foremost. So I will never put anyone before the victims of cases. No family member, nothing. Belinda knows that. Belinda comes secondary to Jack and Lily. It's always about the victims of these cases. And if you see lying going on, and there is lying clearly, then what does that tell you? It tells you that they're hiding something. But what are they hiding? And who's really, where is the truth of what happened to Jack and Lily? If anyone, whether it's Daniel, Maleyha, Janie, or whatever, has any information that they're withholding back for the sake of themselves, selfishness in a sense, over these children, then that's disgusting, right? Because as a mother, as a person, as a human, children are innocent and they don't deserve to have lies be told when people are trying to understand where they are. So that will come out in the wash, I guarantee you. So wherever the truth lies between Janie, Daniel, Justin, perhaps, which is the brother of Daniel, Maleyha, any of the family members, it will play out. It's going to play out. I'm just here to listen to what they're saying. And then in my own kind of sleuth mode, just try to understand from the start where this all happened, where the truth lies amongst the lies, So that's the part that's really bugging me and making me getting pissed off, is because now we see people come out of the woodwork, but no one's really willing to say, to, like, for Daniel, he's not willing to kind of come up verbally and just say, you know what? Yes, you guys, I did lie. I did tell the police this about the 2 t-shirt sweaters. I did do this. Why not? Why not? Go to the news then. Okay, that's a good question. Derwood.
Super chat, $2 You're awesome. Thank you. Darwood, do you still trust your sources? 100 emoji.
Okay, so Darren, if you could answer that for Law's family, do you still trust your sources? But yeah, so going back to you on this one, Novah.
Oh, sorry, were you gonna?
Nope, I'm just gonna listen.
I was just also gonna say, when it comes right down to it, like to say Daniel's not aggressive. Well, he's not in what the out world perceives him to be. What goes on behind closed doors, nobody knows what's going on with him or Maleyha, whether he's aggressive or Maleyha's aggressive, or what's going on there. When it comes right down to it, what goes on behind people's closed doors and on the other side of that door is 2 different things, and only the people behind that closed door know what's going on. And again, it's very common with addiction that there is aggression and abuse. And I will say too, last night in the chat with Daniel, I think it was last night. I think I'm getting the last 3 days kind of blended together because I stayed up late there with you that night. He didn't deny the stuff about the addiction allegations, and stated that he's randomly tested. So he didn't, he was openly talking about it. He didn't say it wasn't true. So.
And that's true. Again, I mean, honestly, I haven't gone back to yesterday's live to see exactly what Daniel was saying. At the end of the day, if Daniel really, right, if he feels like in general that he's telling the truth, right? So maybe he feels like, yes, okay, I did lie about some things. Great, perfect time to clear all that up.
Yeah.
If you're telling the truth, so why not take the opportunity? Why hide behind Facebook groups? It's pointless. It honestly is it's useless almost typing in here, besides, because people, unless like Darren, he's coming out and speaking. And then as time goes on, right, you can see that there's some legitimacy to the stuff he's saying, because we are taking his version by what he's being told for a lot of it. Okay. Besides his own personal conversations with Cindy, or anyone else, a lot of it is just, okay, it's like us, right? We're taking the information and then we decide what's believable or not, right? And
Yep.
so for Darren, after looking at everything, he feels like that Daniel and Janie and stuff like that, that basically it is true. He feels that Maleyha got her hand caught in the cookie jar and put the kids in a vehicle. I already showed you the text from yesterday. It could be true. It might not be true at the end of the day. But again, it just drives me bonkers because I actually am a truthologist, and everyone white lies. But we're talking about two kids here, Daniel, right? We're talking about these kids that you keep saying that you're going to fight to the end of the earth for. So you have an opportunity just to speak your piece, on whatever platform you wish. Your own would be the best, second would be this, of course. But anyways, but you have that space just to at least explain yourself, because trying to do it in a battle amongst talking and stuff like that, or in Facebook groups, all it comes across really is like you're just trying to self-preserve yourself and you're just trying to make justifications. But this is about two children, right?
It doesn't come off as being serious, is what it,
No.
you
Go ahead,
know,
explain how you
it
feel about that.
it would to come on a platform and have a mature adult one-on-one conversation
No.
about these two missing babies is to be taken serious. But going into a chat and saying stuff, and then the next day going into another chat and saying something different than you said the day before, and then going into another chat the next day and saying, that none of that's taken seriously.
It's not.
It isn't.
Not by most people, right? Instead it just stirs the pot, and it actually
Yep.
makes them look more guilty, to be honest with you.
Yes, absolutely.
So again, the thing about Daniel, regardless, I don't know how smart you actually think you are, in a sense, Daniel, and you might be smart at a lot of things, but you're playing with true crime people here, people that have been in this true crime space, myself for 5 years, other people for a lot longer. So in saying that, it's like having a duckling, amongst all the swans, in a sense, out here, that you're not pulling anything by us. And so we know the game. So the game you're playing is actually detrimental to yourself by going into all these Facebook groups, and you think you're trying to gather support and stuff like that. But really, so yeah, some people are going to, of course, be like, thank you so much. Or they're just going to simply ask you and be like, oh, that's great. Thank you so much for talking, Daniel. But for the most part, people are going to swallow you up whole in true crime, and it's not going to be believable. So you have the opportunity to fix the lies that you've been telling, regardless, whether it's about the drug situation, whether it's about the children, the double talk about your mom coming out of the camper when you called the children's, and the next thing about the 911 call that you said Maleyha asked you. Then you talk about coming out of the woods, and you literally are verbatim on interviews saying this. So it's not like you can sit there and take that back. You said it, you got to own it. And then he says he's coming out of the woods, and Maleyha's already on the phone to 911. So again, right? And then Darren says, well, everything seems to be was protecting Maleyha. Now, again, it doesn't matter. It's still lying, right? Talking about sweaters, talking about these things that are found, talking about a blanket, and all these things that, that they didn't see the first day, second day, whatever, like all the stuff. And it's just like, wait, what? So it's not doing you any favors. Now, like I said, I could speak to that man. I can lead him to the water, can't make him drink it. At the end of the day, the repercussions are going to come when the RCMP knocks on somebody's door, or both, and says, you're under arrest. So the truth. Maleyha knows the truth somewhere. This isn't that the kids, if they're in the woods, they're probably buried, or in some water or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty. And so it's just a matter of, they're putting up $150,000 reward. So the most likely scenario here is still this, that the children, sadly, are not alive. That would be the most likely scenario. They put up $150,000 reward. If the children were being hidden, I think that they would have already been found, to be honest with you, like meaning it wouldn't go on this long. There's
Yeah.
too much digital data and information going on that seems so highly unlikely, but still plausible because we don't know the answer. But I'm
And
just, go ahead.
Sonny, let me ask you this.
Sure.
We just talked about this on my live. Now, do you think that there's going to be $150,000 reward put up if the RCMP ever thought that these kids are alive and living well on a reserve and still in Maleyha's custody because she's their mother and she would have custody of them? The biggest reward that Canada has ever offered in a missing person's case.
Right. I mean,
You
well,
know?
no.
No,
There's a ton of them out
doesn't
there.
make
Nova.
sense.
Right. Because there's a ton of cases out there that have the $150,000 reward for the missing. If you guys ever go to the Nova Scotia website for that, you'll see a ton of faces that reach that point where they all are offered $150K. Okay. I seen it. I was at that site and I was like, oh, damn. So they do offer a reward.
Okay, because I don't, where was it
Yeah.
said it was the biggest reward? It was on one of the
It's not.
news channels, but
No. It's
okay.
not.
So maybe for this area or something. I know they
Yeah. Honestly, no, it was Nova Scotia's website. It was to do with the murder, the missing and stuff like that, the missing people. There was a bunch of people. I'd have to find it again. There was a bunch of people's faces on there with 150K reward for information above it. Now, so I agree with you.
But nonetheless, still, they're not going to put out that huge reward.
They're not. They're not.
You know, but if they thought the kids were on the reserve in their mother's custody, I mean, they might put out a reward for some answers, but I don't think it would be 150.
And I was going to say, again, going back to everyone, and no disrespect to anyone else's thoughts, including Darren's. Bottom line is, I am an outsider looking inwards at this case. I'm not part of the family and anything like that. So I'm just an outsider looking at the information. Being in true crime, you know that when a reward comes up, it is likely they're looking that, correct what you said, Novah. If they wouldn't, to me, put up this $150,000 reward at all. If they had any signs to show that these children were hitting, this is them asking for information for $150,000 because they know that something happened to these children. Probably not a sign of that these children are alive, to be honest with you. And it's more of $150,000 because they probably are trying to, if anything, and this is just my own speculation, they're trying to do a recovery of where those children are. And asking someone for any information. Here's $150,000. Lead us to where these children are. And the chances are it's not because that they're alive. It's because these children are probably more considered that they're not alive. And that goes along with how these typical cases play out. Now, on our hopeful, wishful thinking side, we want it to be true that this is the case. But I'm not there to believe that at all. I'm just listening to whatever the family members are saying and just piecing it together myself, trying to figure out. But when it comes to $150,000 reward, they need your help. They need your help to locate where the children are. And it's probably not for a good purpose, like for a good reason. Is just reality is what it is, right, Darren? Reality is what it is. That's why they usually put out rewards like this. So anyways, that's just my thoughts on it. It doesn't make sense that they would know that these children are hitting on some sort of reserve. There's too much digital data that this has gone on too long, but there's too much digital data out there for this to seem like it's more of a reality. It's more unlikely it's not that way, but I'm going to still hold out hope.
Okay, so I just looked it up. Now I understand. 150,000 is the highest reward that can be offered. They don't go any higher than that. The only time they ever went higher was for one case. They went up to 250,000, and it was for a boy that was missing in Halifax, actually, Nova Scotia. That was the highest publicly offered reward in Canada, went up to 250. But yeah, so then when you read about rewards for major unsolved crimes, this program administered by the Nova Scotia Department of Justice offers rewards up to 150,000. So I get it now. Sorry, my misunderstanding. Yeah, so I mean, as you just said, they're not going to offer the highest amount that can be offered if these kids were alive.
Darren, what Streamlabs, whenever somebody doesn't use their punctuation properly, and only mods can post links in here, and it's not that you're trying to post a link, but if you don't put your space after your period properly, it acts like you're trying to do like a www dot, or .com type of thing. So that's where that comes from, okay? It's not that you're actually trying to post a link, it's the punctuation. Darren loves to flap his gums on YouTube and Facebook, but still hasn't given an official or that with facts. Now, I say you're wrong there, Jackson. I say you're wrong there, because he did go to the RCMP, and he, behind the scenes, he talks with Kent, okay? So I think you're wrong there. You're not getting your $10 back from yesterday for me saying that, though, or the $5 either. I'll kick you off your horse when I need to. You know that on there. But anyways, I know that you do not like I didn't see this super sticker. I better hold on. There was a super sticker. Hold on. Direct. I got to say this. Direct current. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. And then you purchased a super sticker as well. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate you guys again. It's never expected. It's appreciated, but never expected. Okay. We're here for Jack and Lily, of course, first and foremost. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And in any which way you do that, thank you for, again, the people that have sent in some super stickers and chats or become members. Jack and Lily, please hit that like button if you're in here watching now. Please, guys, look, please, just do it for Jack and Lily. That's all I ask. Just smash that DNA for Jack and Lily. Okay, this means so much to me, to anyone following the case, for you guys, for Belinda, for everyone, okay? For the fundraisers, the people that are really trying just to get answers for this case. And again, I can't say this enough. Jackson, remember this. Information from Darren, whether you believe it or not. It's information, whether you believe it's true or not. At the end of the day, it's all going to come out in the wash. That is fact. It will come out. But I personally, and I still can't speak for you, but you still got to play nice. Okay, you still got to be nice, right? I mean, honestly, I don't want anyone to feel like they're being attacked in here. It's about Jack and Lily, okay? So if you don't agree with him and you don't even like what he's saying, just block him then, right? But please, you guys, do not go on to attack on anyone, okay? I'm not going to put up with it. I don't care who you are. Well, honestly, if Darren, you got one person in here, and thank you guys for being respectful. But nobody deserves to be attacked. They don't. I don't care if Daniel's in the chat, if Maleyha is in the chat. No one really deserves to be attacked while they're in here. It's just a space where we can talk about the case, make awareness to Jack and Lily. So keep the focus, please. Okay, guys? You are being rude and disrespectful. Yeah. Funny how everyone doesn't agree with me calling out lie. It's not that it's not about that, right, Jackson? Okay? It's about how you're saying something. Just be respectful. You can say, I think Darren, is, full of it. You can say that, okay? But don't sit there and be just so rude and disrespectful, okay? That's all I'm asking. So please, because if it gets to the point that you do need to get blocked because you can't keep being respectful, I will. Okay, it's not about donations, and stuff like that. Okay, it's about respect.
Because I think Sunny and I are saying the same thing, that we don't believe that the kids are here with us any longer. But we're not saying, Darren, you're a bullshitter.
Right. We're not.
It's
It's
your approach and how you say things.
it's
Yeah.
just being realistic to the case, okay?
Yeah.
Regardless. I mean, the odds are not in the children's favor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the odds. Now, can miracles happen? Absolutely. Might a miracle happen? Absolutely. Right? But all we're doing is just taking the information and doing what seems logical. But at this point, honestly, there's beyond because there's a lot of bullshit going on with lies and people, but what's great about this is people are coming out of the woodwork. And the more that people add to the woodwork, right, at the end of the day, it's kind of almost like completing a little totem pole there, right? Just keep it coming out, keep adding out little puzzle pieces, and then all of a sudden you see the truth. Reward also. Kevin Wesley Martin, reward also up to 150,000 young.
Yes,
So
that's the largest that they offer is up to 150. The boy that they did offer 250 for, he's the only one in Canada. That's the largest one. The 100,000. I didn't read the whole thing, but it may have been a donation that they added on to it. I didn't get to read the whole thing, but
yeah, and right. Just quickly. So yes, Darren saying, I'm pretty sure Cindy was with her man. She was, right? Which is Wade. I'm not gonna tell you his last name, but it's Wade. Okay. I kind of have a feeling, like honestly, like Daniel made this perception about Cindy, as if she was this really, evil person and stuff like that. To be honest with you, so at the start, I remember there was a person in here talking about Cindy, and I'm like, well, how did you know? Well, the person says, well, I've been a friend for a long time. I know. Now, in hindsight, in watching more information come out, because all of it at first was really Daniel's words. I believe, I know Cindy. I don't know if she's still a nurse or not. Anyone that's usually in the occupation of a nurse, school teacher, are deep empaths. They're people that truly care.
yeah.
And so when I thought about
Thank
it
you.
more, yes, absolutely, right? So it doesn't match this Cindy being this wicked, evil mother. What I see here is a mother will always want to protect and their children. So if her mother feels like she's in a controlling, jealous, abusive, or any type of relationship, right? There's a reason why, Daniel, that Cindy doesn't like you. It's because
Yeah.
she feels like her daughter's not happy, and you're the root of the cause of it. And so it's one of those things, Daniel, that in time, after seeing all the things that have been said by you and Maleyha, there's clearly jealousy going on there. You've obviously fallen madly in love with Maleyha. And this is in my opinion personally, is that, this reminds me of, again, people that have been in abusive relationships like myself. The first one, clearly for like 11 years when I was with Dion. And it's one of those things is that, everything starts off on a good note, right? Everything starts off as you're pretending to be somebody, right? And for me, even myself, right? You try to show your best side, right? Even though I think you'll agree, Novah, that I'm pretty sure that all my sides are great, aren't they? Go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And it could
Mhm.
it could be a part of the addiction as well,
Right.
because that's not uncommon to
Right.
do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so let's say, obviously Cindy's going to confide in her mom, if there's drug issues going on. And Darren clearly said that, regardless, Darren clearly said that 3 years ago, he believed that Daniel had stopped doing drugs,
Yep.
that he was taking classes and stuff like that, right? And that
Yep.
would be the words out of Daniel. Whether or not that was truthful is a whole different ball of wax. Because again, I got a niece, you guys, that's been addicted to meth and that for like freaking since she's about 15 years old.
It's a bad one.
It is. And she struggles all the time. And
Mhm.
it's like a flip-flopping, pancake there. Block 1 minute she's not doing it, next minute she is. 1 minute she's not. And she was in the nursing or helping people. She's working at a hospital there, and she's a very deep empath herself. But bottom line is that when a mother sees their children unhappy, and you say at the beginning of a relationship, you try to be on your guys' best behavior. So when Daniel uses the term about the old Daniel back, right? So he's
Right.
referring to a time when life between them was good, everything was great. Thing is that this reminds me of like my first ex-husband that I was with for 11 years, married to for 2 years. Why I did it, guys, don't ask me. Whatever, learning lesson, eh? But is that I was always getting hit and I was always getting told I'm sorry. He was always calling me names. He was always trying to control me and all that stuff like that. Now, in his eyes, was he in shock when I one day, somebody asked me this question the other day, and I'm going to give you an answer to that. It was one day that I felt I was resided to kind of my ex-husband's family became my family. My mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers. Okay. Dion's family was my family. I'd known him since I was in high school up until I left when I was 26. So I only married Dion because I felt like I wanted to please everybody else, right? I was naive, definitely. I was always trying to people please all the time. And I just felt like it was my destiny that I just needed to make everyone else happy if it meant that I had to take the brunt of the relationship. I just felt like that's what I was supposed to do. So after when I got married, I remember I literally said as I was sitting there looking into his eyes going, why I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? I really right. But I didn't stop it either because everyone around me was expecting this. And so anyways, so I started slowly telling people at work, this one person in particular, she said, look, Sonny, I will buy you a plane ticket if you will leave a Dion type of thing. I'll buy you a plane ticket home. And she said, and you can pay me back whenever you want. And I was like, you know what? So I thought about it. I came home one day. I walked in. We lived in apartments in Calgary. And I walked into the sliding door that makes noise, the sliding bottom door. The sliding bottom door. And anyways, so I walk in and he bitched at me for something. Don't remember even what it was. He bitched at me and I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm tired of being abused by you. I'm calling my mom right now, who had no clue I was even being abused for 11 years. And I said, and I'm leaving your ass. I said, I'm tired of your shit. I'm tired of you controlling me. Right. But he was like in shock. And I'm like, right? As if he was like the perfect person. You shithead. You literally have thrown me into bathtubs, given me black eyes, throwing forks at me, done so much, smothered me with pillow, attacked me all the time. Whenever he didn't like something I wore, something I did, tried to control me. And I put up with that shit thinking that I was in love with him. Bottom line was he was in love with me. And he didn't see that any of this was wrong. But the whole time inside, I was breaking down. I was tired of being, I'm sorry, I'm this, I'm that. And so, so that's where my epiphany came. I walked in the door. He said something to me, pissed me right off. Instantly, I picked up the phone. I called my mom and I said, Mom, and I can't even really talk about this because I'll make me cry. I said, Mom, I want to come home. My mom said, why? I said, because I'm tired of being abused. I'm sick of it. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I said, Mom, he's been abusing me for 11 years and I'm just tired of it and I want to come home. So Maleyha was in one of those relationships, right? Because it really does sound like it was a controlling relationship.
It's looking like it,
It's looking
the cycle,
Yeah, the cycle is. Now, does that mean that still that Daniel had anything to do with the kids? No. But does that mean that Cindy perhaps didn't like Daniel for these reasons? And Maleyha, like Darren said, and is naive. You can tell that she is so naive to the world that way. She obviously picks these relationships that are not healthy for her, and she probably has the intent of going into them looking for her knight in shining armor. And I'm sorry, Daniel, but I don't think that in Maleyha's eyes, you were the knight in shining armor. That's why he keeps, it's like in his mind, in his world, he doesn't see that same outwardly perception.
Exactly,
that's why he's trying to protect Maleyha, because he loves her, but his love is a controlling,
is a different type.
A different type of love. Whereas Maleyha probably wanted just her knight in shining armor to kind of come into her life. And he's saying, look, I'll go back to that old Daniel, and then he's trying to use the news media to say, please stopping, attacking, and then at some point he realizes, look, you know what, that she basically ditched my ass. And after so long, you start getting pissy instead of, like, oh, poor Maleyha, in a sense. But he probably still has some hopes and dreams because he's looking at it differently, the relationship than Maleyha is.
Well,
Maleyha's
because
she's
people
done.
who are like that don't see anything wrong with their actions.
No.
They don't see it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever will. I was in a relationship as well. My first married, not physical, but everything else. And we were sitting there having supper in a restaurant, and I did the same thing you did. We were just sitting there eating, and whatever it was he said, and it just come out of me, Sonny. I never even thought about it. It come out of me as like a burp that you can't control. And I
Yeah.
just said, I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
And he went, what? What did you just say? And I said, you heard me. I'm
Absolutely.
leaving. And that was that.
As being nice. Yeah, exactly. Right. So from all the things that Daniel has shown to what Maleyha has put out, just in my opinion, this seems to have been a not great relationship. Hence why she ended up leaving with her mother very fast. I think it's very plausible about these drugs for sure. It falls in line with why Maleyha would have left so fast and in disgust. The family's accusing Daniel. Okay, there's something about that in there that they're accusing him of something. And that's why he's like, look, I'll take a lie detector test. I'll take a drug test. I'll do this. I'll do that. Right now, those are just like Alexa said, those are just words.
They are, because here's the scary thing now that we know about the drugs.
Well, if it's true, if they are true. But
if it is true, but he didn't deny. The reason why I'm saying that is because he was in your chat yesterday. I was looking at it, and
he didn't deny.
was openly talking about it. He said he goes to get tested and whatnot. But is that he said that, and the lie detector, and I'll take a polygraph, right? But none of that means anything. So did Chris Watts.
Right. And it's not like he can confirm to us that he truly passed his lie. Like, okay, so remember,
RCMP can lie about whatever they want. It's their investigation. They don't have to tell us that there was cadaver dogs out there if there were. They don't have to let on that somebody passed a lie detector test even though they didn't. That's part of how they have to do their investigation.
Mama Angie, I agree with you. Can you imagine how frustrated police are with all these stories? Can you imagine how frustrated the police are with all these people that call in over stupid shit?
Yes.
Can you believe how frustrated they are being bogged down with the case by people literally that call in, can you just imagine how many people are calling in? It happened in Delphi. It happens all the time. Whenever something is hitting here, someone's like, you should report that to the police. Your psychic vision, you need to report that to the police. And then you got 30 people calling in there going, I was watching this channel, and it's not to say that some people aren't gifted. Some people truly are. But I mean, it's one of those things. If you're truly calling in saying that a psychic is selling something, they're going to be like, yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And it's all, in all fairness, I'm just trying to be truthful on that. They're not going to be like, well, hey, everyone, halt everything. A psychic said something today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not trying to
we got Slow Mel on the phone, although she's not too bad.
Well, I'm not trying to offend the psychics because obviously there's some I really like. I've been read by some, but I just mean it's ridiculous how, like with the Delphi case, every person I swear to God owned a blue jacket was turned into the police in the Delphi case. Right? And then they get bogged down. So just think about the stuff that you are reporting. I mean, obviously, if Darren, he already has said he spoke out to the RCMP. He talked to Kent. He literally went down, you guys. Darren's trying to find answers for Jack and Lily. I respect that. We don't know even if, like I said, Daniel and Maleyha's relationship was crappy and stuff like that. I mean, our heart of hearts tells us where this kind of all leads us to. but I couldn't tell you right now. I just know what the likely theory would be, realistically, and that's by facts. Obviously, there's not going to be these great statistics that say, you know what, 1 out of every 10 children are hidden, in a domestic violence or something type of relationship. It's not happening. How many
Yeah.
children are, unfortunately unalived in these situations? During a family, it's probably going to be at least 5 out of 10 that family members had something to do with it, if not higher, when it comes to these type of cases. So that's just keeping it realistic, but always still, I knowing full well that on a unicorn and Skittles and a rainbow, that we want that the fact that they're hidden to be true. Who wouldn't? Who
Yeah.
wouldn't? Who wouldn't? These are babies.
And I think people have to realize that too, when you're again about the approach of how you're saying things to people.
Yeah, go on,
Some
Corey.
people hold on to hope longer than others.
Yeah.
And it's our way of, here comes the nurse in me, our brains of processing things and what we can handle, when we can handle it. And each of us, the time is different. It's the same as a person who's grieving. No person goes through that grieving period the same as the next person. Each person is different. Well, in this, it's very similar in the fact of holding on to hope and your brain and your mind just not being able to accept the monstrous truth of it. Our brains don't want to accept that. So some people are behind others on that. So you have to be respectful of that.
Yeah. As far as Steph and Beauty Girl, okay, you know what? What I want, we have already talked about the pink blanket, and we played Darren when he talked about the pink blanket and the sweaters and stuff like that. Again, so we've already played, entertained that part of this video so far, guys. So I want to get into Haley talking about again the drugs, and then I'm going to pull up the conversation that Cindy graciously had sent me. And again, I'm just only really going to show mostly what Haley said back, but we'll listen to it again, okay? Her exact words of what she was saying. So Haley, again, is Maleyha Brooks Murray's half sister, okay? And then they have their brother, Hayden. And so that's what we're going to play. I know we played it a lot yesterday, you guys. Okay. Hidden, I'll put it up here quickly, right here. So Hidden in the Fog. Thank you guys for supporting her channel. I know that when I started, so when I first put out that video from her, she was at 102, 102. And now she's at like, last time I looked, 1.38. So thank you
Me
guys.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, for giving the support. Novah, I know that you have your channel. Shoot, I need to put your link up here too. You don't have a wrench in the channel, do you? Do I give you a link?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I
My
gave
goodness.
her a shout out today too. It's a good
Yeah, I
channel.
heard that. Can you just type your name in chat, please?
Like, just say hi, you mean?
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
And I believe she's the same one that has the TikTok, because the one that has the TikTok, her name is Susan. And
Right.
when you read the messages on her comment section of this Hidden in the Fog, they're saying, welcoming her to YouTube, and they're saying Susan. And she's saying, thank you. This is new to me. I'm just getting used to it. I'm used to TikTok. And so I'm assuming it's the same Susan. Yeah.
Could be. Absolutely. That's in the comments of this video?
I don't know. No, it wouldn't be that one. It'd be because I as soon as she put her first video out, I became a member. That was a while ago. Well, longer than this video was out.
You know what? I totally tuned you out to your answer. I was too busy reading a comment.
No, it would have been her. I think her first video, maybe, because I joined her a while ago, like prior to this, like when she first got a chance. Yeah, she come up in my feed, and I had joined her then. And I
Okay.
was reading the comments and they're calling her Susan. So I think it's the same person that has the TikTok channel, which is smart of her to do if it is, because everybody's just recording them anyway.
Recording their stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, there's 250 likes in here. Can you guys smash that up to 300 for me, you guys? There's over 500 people. Please, 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 with sugar on top for Jack and Lily's sake. Okay, guys. So we're gonna play the. I wanted to answer this question. Okay, so I would never comment on what Belinda thinks of Cindy, because I know Belinda would never have something negative to say about Cindy at all. It's not a discussion that we've had, and she wouldn't put Cindy down or make a comment towards that. Wade is Cindy's partner, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if they're married. I don't think so, but it's Cindy's partner. Okay, that's who Wade would be. Okay, so let me play out this part here. And my goodness, is it ever hot? By the way, I got fans behind me, but I can't turn it on because I don't want it to pick up the sound.
It's cooler here today.
It's
We had a thunderstorm overnight.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah, it kept me awake.
Oh, I don't like thunderstorms. Okay, let me play this.
Happened. I only know from what I was told. I obviously wasn't there when the kids went missing, but she deserves to not be ridiculed as well, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sticking up for anybody in this situation. I know as much as everybody else about what had happened with the children, right? So
Yeah. I mean, it's a tragedy. And I think that what adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police would figure out or could figure out what happened, and Lily and Jack could be found, it would give people a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
well, yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long as family. Like we're hurting over this. Like it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like people are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've stayed quiet.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Like I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right? But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know because people are starting to message and ask. But, I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there.
Okay, 1 second. Just 1 second there. I want to go back to something because a lost family, that was touched on actually already. I remember a couple of lives ago with regards to when Cindy arrived. According to Daniel, that Cindy arrived he said a few minutes, but it was within about 12 or 16 minutes after the police arrived. So the police were called at like 9:48, something like that, I believe, if I look back on Melinda's timeline. 9:48, police arrived there within 12 minutes. Maleyha's mom arrived there within about 16 or so minutes after that. So that's what was told. Daniel used the word a few minutes after, but then it was said again, and I think by Derwood on this one. But anyways, it was about 12 to 16 minutes after that the police arrived there is when Cindy his mom arrived there. And that could be, again, what do you think about that actually quickly, Novah? When you think about it in your head and these children. So let's say it's true that Cindy, like Daniel says, arrived there, like he's saying, like make sense out of that basically. So
I had wondered when he was saying she was playing on her phone. I had wondered then if she was sending a message to her mom and saying like the kids are missing. Like, did she reach out to somebody and that's how the mom knew earlier and was able to get there quicker? She lives in Truro. The highway drive from Truro to there, because you actually get there before you get into closer into town where I am. It's from here to Truro takes us 45 minutes, and from here to their place it's about a 15-minute drive. So it's about a half hour, which should be about a half hour. Does she live in Truro?
No, she lives in Wentworth.
Okay, in Wentworth. That'd be,
That's an
yeah,
hour.
that I was
Now
gonna
and
say that
15.
would be between probably 45 minutes and an hour. It'd be a little bit more. And so, yeah, so either that was her that she may have been texting, maybe. But apparently it was said somewhere that she was already heading into town.
Yeah, but
So
I don't think that that's true, to be
I don't
honest.
either, Sonny, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I don't.
I feel like this. And Darren really hasn't touched on it much about this afterwards, but he did say it in the live a few times. He did talk about it. Apparently, hypothetically, allegedly, that there was an argument that happened on the day before the 1st, that they went shopping, wherever, McDonald's shopping, whatever they were, and that Maleyha got upset. So I do want to say this, that Belinda did say about Maleyha. When I asked her about Maleyha, I think one of the things that I've never said, and I totally forgot about it, was that Belinda had said that Maleyha liked designer clothes. I just want to put that out there, right? Because kind of at that age, was about designer clothes. So, so regardless, I just want to put that out there, because it's not like she was this bumpkin in sweatpants and whatever. She did like her designer clothes, like typically any, well, not like anyone. I didn't raise my kid up on designer clothes, but I know that it gets important to some people to have designer stuff and stuff like that. But anyways, so apparently there was this argument that happened, hypothetically, allegedly, told by Darren. Okay, and that Maleyha was upset, possibly, because she wanted to spend more money, and but obviously their income isn't very good. And Darren said something about Maleyha's money being tied up by the government, right, until she filed taxes or something like that. But anyway, so money was very tight, obviously, if Daniel's working, whatever. Anyway, so apparently there was this argument that happened that rolled out, and I'm not going to get into the part that he told me in the middle there, because again, it's hearsay from what he was told himself. And again, I'm not going to bring that part up. But anyways, the fight continued on when they got home, and obviously perhaps continued into the next day, which is possibly why Maleyha was, you know what, I'm fucking fed up with this shit. Darren had also said that she was talking to her family about not wanting to be there, wanting out of the relationship a couple months prior. So it is possible that this fight ensued between Maleyha and Daniel the day before. And that in the morning, she was basically like, throughout the night, she was like, maybe her mom was heading in there throughout the night, that Maleyha was like, you know what, F you, Daniel, I'm fucking out of here. And she probably had maybe talked to her mom. Maybe her mom was set out to come see her that particular day. And then next thing you know, these children go missing all of a sudden during this span, right? Looking at it realistically, that these children go missing during this span, and that Maleyha's mom maybe had the intent on coming out there. And maybe she possibly was on her way out there or not. But, that could be plausible, considering that if there was, hypothetically, the argument that continued on, and Maleyha was just over it, done with it, So maybe her mom was coming out there, to talk to her. Who knows? I'm not sure. But so, I mean, something like that could fall in line with, Maleyha putting the kids into a vehicle and getting them off of there, and then her mom coming to grab her, and then, but Daniel or Janie comes out, and it leads into this fucking massive lie that the children are in the woods, So I'm not I'm not forgetting every bit of information. I'm just trying to realistically trying to put the puzzle pieces together to where the truth lies about that. But
And I think that could be a possibility as well. But for me, I wouldn't think it would mean that Maleyha put the kids in a car and had them taken off somewhere. I
or
would
something that
more go in the direction that if a
I know.
woman was leaving a man
Yeah, I
and
know.
he found out and saw that, or found out she made that plea for help from her mother and to come
Uh-huh.
get us, that is a very risky time in that
Absolutely. Relationship for sure.
relationship. You know
That's
where
true.
I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because exactly. So this
Yeah.
is where it becomes, is Daniel, does he have anything at all to do with the children's disappearance? Right?
Yeah.
Or is it that Maleyha put the children in the car? Where's the truth? There's lying going on. Definitely.
Yeah.
Right? So are we trying to be misdirected with false bullshit from the Martell side in a sense? Or is it true? Is, but there's lying going on. So that means that they're hiding something. If there was drugs in the home, just by chance, did the children happen to get into it? They would be flat on the
Yeah.
floor in a second if
Oh
that
my
happened.
God. It'd be so
Hypothetically,
quick.
absolutely. Why did Maleyha, why was she lying? Why were they lying about the morning time? Like, why is that so inconsistent? Why the lies? Because they're covering up something, and it's to do with Jack and Lily.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on now, let's just call a spade on that one. You know, they're trying to protect themselves, I'm sure, in certain ways, because obviously Maleyha keeps using, and they were supervised as always. And then she contradicts her own darn self multiple times about, well, normally they don't go to the road. Normally, everything that contradicts being supervised. And
Oh, the whole first part of her interview was more focused on defending their parenting.
and
And
I,
it's like, don't bother.
yeah.
Nobody's, it was, no, there's no defending it. Your
Yeah.
kids should not be missing.
And this is, again, you guys, I know that we're on a YouTube channel, and our focus is Jack and Lily, the answers, okay? But obviously, just like you guys, we're curious where the truth lies. When lies are being told, all of a sudden it becomes a swamp of diarrhea, and you try to sift through the diarrhea to understand the truth, So, Janie, if you're doing an interview for Tuesday or Wednesday, good, great, perfect, Tell whatever it is that you need to say. Darren's, like I said, going to have an interview. Darren wasn't there. Let's make no qualms about that. Darren was not there, but he wants, obviously, he's going to give his thoughts based on what Janie and Daniel and his own thoughts about, what he believes happened with the children, that they've been hidden and taken, right? So, again, the more the family speaks out, that's what we want to hear. And not going to knock it, but again, just to watch them come out in Facebook groups and then hit one and say, I'm going to try to defend myself. Wrong way to go about anything, Janie or Daniel, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the truth doesn't change. So if you're telling the truth, I'm sorry, I can't get over the fact that he keeps going around to Facebook groups and he wants people to actually believe his stuff, right?
Yeah.
If he wants to come across as truthful, that is not the right way to make people believe in you. You might get some sapsuckers, right, Vanessa? That, or no, I don't want to take away from the people that, believe him. I don't have the side here. I'm not for Daniel. I'm not for Maleyha. I'm simply for Jack and Lily, so make no qualms about that, Daniel or Maleyha, or any other family members. It's for Jack and Lily. So again, if they want to speak and they want to put stuff out to Facebook groups, well, you get what you get. Right, you reap what you sow. But in true crime, we're not little bumpkins that fell off the turnip truck and stuff like that. So you're playing a game in a sense, or trying to do justifications in a world that you do not know of, in a sense, when it comes to the true crime world, and people that are not easily deceived by someone's actions and stuff like that. So if you think you're smarter than us, it's not very unlikely on that, because like I said, you have his Pokemon channel. There you go. You might have your Pokemon channel, but to me, that's just a typical a male adult still loving his cards and stuff like that. Probably a big kid in a lot of ways, to be honest with you, obviously. But yeah, but honestly, like I said, one of the dumbest things to do is just trying to convince people because it makes you look worse.
And another thing that I popped into my head was, like, why, if somebody thought that, or if somebody did, as it's being proposed that Maleyha did, put the kids in a car, then why? Because she was the one who was trying to say she thought they could have been abducted, and that
Right.
she wanted an Amber Alert put out.
Yeah,
And it
and I'm
was
here.
RCMP who stated that, well, no, there's no signs of abduction, blah, blah, blah. And she talked about that in her interview. And so why would you send them in that direction, knowing that now you're you're going to cry for an Amber Alert, knowing now that the police are going to be all over the highways, they're going to be at borders, this is going out to the airport. If she did put them in a car and send them off with somebody, because now you're increasing the risk of them being found, wouldn't you go along with they're in the woods? Not,
Well, exactly.
do you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't, like, you would be wanting to push the narrative that they're in the woods somewhere. They definitely weren't abducted, because you wouldn't want them
Right.
paying attention to that if that's what you did. You'd be trying to throw them in the opposite direction. So that just none of that makes sense to me.
I get it. Absolutely. And in this second here, you're going to let me go to the bathroom and get a drink.
Yeah, I just ran downstairs and grabbed something while you were talking, because I didn't want to interrupt you. So I was just like, I'm just going to go right fast.
I know yesterday there was a bee in my room, and I was on live with Astro by Lauren, and this bee freaking comes in this freaking black thing, and I'm just like, right? Because what I cannot stand about bees is like just bzzz, that sound. Bzzz,
were you on the live when it happened?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Twice.
I don't think I seen I didn't see yesterday's. I missed a day here in my head.
It was the second one. Okay. Anyways, my husband on the second one, I'm like, husband. And he's like, what? And I'm like, there's a bee, got it, whatever. Anyways, so he finally sees it behind my table, my wicker thing that's beside my bed. And he's like, I see it behind here. And I'm like, and he's like, well, I'll get the vacuum, right? So he goes and gets the vacuum. And then all of a sudden he's just like peeping over, and he's like with the vacuum hose, and he's like, and he gets it. And then he's like letting it spiral around. Now, normally he had his hat, and right. But then once he realized where it was, there was no getting it. And I just wanted to get that damn thing out of here. Now, typically I don't sit there and usually want to do a vacuum cleaner, death by vacuum cleaner thing. But sorry, dude, that black thing was just bugging me, and so I was just like, look. And then so I didn't want to bug Lauren while she was talking about the dangling part of the read. So I just kind of sat there for a minute, just so I didn't. So I'm kind of going back to you going to get some water while I was talking or whatever, But yeah, so that was the second live I did yesterday. Dennis Tupper, thank you for subscribing. I want to go back just quickly, if you don't mind. I think I was going to say something, but I forgot now. Whatever.
Well, you said you had to go use the potty.
Well, that too in a second there.
And I have to go in 10 minutes, 7:30.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I have a grocery order coming soon too, as well. Between 3 and 5 here. But anyways, oh yeah, ice cream. I got Kit Kat ice cream, and I got maple walnut.
Yummy.
But so this is, of course, about Jack and Lily. So if you have not hit that like and share, please, you guys. Again, we just ask that you are here for the purpose of Jack and Lily. Never do something for the sake of the channel. Thank you so much. Anyone that's donated as well. They're never expected. They're appreciated very much by you guys. So I just want to give you thanks. Lisa Acid bought me some tacos the other day when I seen her in here today, even though I thanked her on the live yesterday, but because I was like, I seen it. You see it. I see it sometimes, most times after the live happens, but I always like to give a thanks for people that always have supported the channel, whether it's by those donations and becoming a member and stuff like that. So thank you guys. So this is why we're here. Jack and Lily hit the DNA. I'm just going to play out the part about the rest of the clip there.
Yeah.
I got to remove this and then bring up this. Okay. And
there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we all know and have not said anything, but it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister, Maleyha's mother, my partner, and we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, damn, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needed to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
and-
sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby, Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
okay,
yeah.
All right, okay. Just to get it straight as to who we're talking about, so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom. And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what the altercation was, because I was like, I confronted his family. It was actually me. And I said, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is that involved? My sister broke down and she admitted that he's been on it for 2 years or so. And yeah, so they all got very, very mad when that came about, and they all kind of said, you know what, we already knew that. Well, if you knew that, why the hell is there children in a home with somebody like that? Like, why aren't you protecting the kids that way? Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the big piece that Logan and whoever else, this Darren guy that is related to Maleyha's side, I mean, he's just spewing a bunch of stuff that's not 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
none of his stuff can be verified. So just remind me, when did this altercation break out? That was on the Saturday, right?
Yeah, that was just as Maleyha was going down to the press conference. Yeah. So Maleyha broke at the end of the driveway. She was crying, and I was like, like, what's going on? And she wouldn't talk. And I looked at her and I said, now's the time to talk. Like, get fucking talking. Like, what's going on? And she broke down, and that's what it came about, that he was doing that.
so now, I don't know. So there was this stuff going on in this Facebook group, right? And Haley was in it. But what I'll disagree with the Facebook group is that she clearly was saying that Maleyha had said about the math. That's right. So she's talking about the drugs and finding out about that. And she said she was super mad because, she has a child of her own. And so I was looking at the messages and I didn't really understand, because I'm looking at the messages, and on this particular live, and you guys, this is on Susan or Suzanne's live on TikTok. Someone obviously screen recorded it, whichever I think it was, right? Or do you believe it's from a YouTube channel, or is this from TikTok?
That is that video there.
TikTok. Yeah.
Well, I think it's originally from her TikTok, but then I believe she's also posting now on
posting.
that. I think that is her YouTube channel.
Right.
Because they're calling
Okay.
her Susan in the comments.
Right. Okay. So, can you do me a favor when you do have a moment? Will you send me over, it's just screenshot? It's on this video.
No, I don't think it's on that
said
one.
no.
I think it's on a because I became a member as soon as she put her first video out.
Can you do me a favor and send me over that link?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So my thing is I think Facebook group, I feel like they had it wrong, because they were,
You want me to send you the link to what?
Oh, do you have the link for that channel that you said that you thought might be the person's TikTok?
That's it right there. The one, the hidden,
hidden in the fog?
In the fog.
Oh, so you believe that this is,
Is
okay.
Susan's channel.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah, because people were just copying her stuff from TikTok. So that hidden in the fog, when you look in the comments, I can't remember which video it is, but I don't think it was this one, because I'm sure it was before that come out. They're calling her Susan and saying, welcome to YouTube type thing. And yeah.
Right. Now, Susan was spelled on TikTok, like, I think it was Susanne. And I remember that there was like a letter after it, then some numbers. I know I have a screenshot of it, because the first time I actually saw Logan sing was on Clutch Them Pearls, is when he had put it out. He was the first one that I had saw from a YouTuber put that out with the Logan's original. And I remember taking a screenshot of that. But anyways, we'll see if it is or not. So regardless, so just to stop screen and then to share screen again, and just tell me when you do have to leave here. I'll share this quickly. And I'm only going to show here what Haley basically was saying on these messages. So someone said, okay, did you report the drugs to the police? Let's start there. And then she said, let's start here. I'm not obligated to answer something I don't want to. And I can't tell you that these are in actual order. I just literally am putting them out as I kind of had them given to me. So it doesn't mean that they're actually in order. But it's the comments of what she's replying to. So Haley says, and you guys can see here, Haley, okay? At the end of the day, you guys are all strangers to me, and probably to this case, besides getting updates from the internet, etc. I never once said that I found meth or coke. She did not. She didn't say that at all. So she said, you guys are twisting shit up. Haley, the reason people want to know what kind of drugs is to consider where the children, whatever there, because that what part wasn't shown. And it says people can want to know whatever they like. Doesn't always mean that they will get the answer they expect to receive. Next question. And then she says something like, she can't flat out say anything clear as day. I actually believe she was clear as day. She goes, it got you guys bothered, eh? She says, I really could care less what any of you guys think or what you feel is right or what should be. Or if you want to sit there and replay the video to hear what you want to hear, go for it. What I've said, you guys can sit and ponder on that all day long. Maybe I went to the police with that info. Maybe I didn't. And unfortunately, do you guys, that information I'll keep to myself. What makes you feel so important that you need to know all the information? And then she says, how can you say things that you can't even back up? And she said, this is all Haley speaking here. You guys are an absolute wreck. I am not protecting anyone. I clearly stated in the live there were drugs were involved. So then someone says, so you're still dodging answering the actual question that you've been asked. Maybe you did, whatever it says there. And she says, because quite frankly, what I did with any of the information I haven't had is none of your business. Is that okay? So she said, I believe this is Cindy that's saying it. Haley, nobody said we're picking apart or twisting anything that you said, hun. They're your words. They did come out of your mouth. It is your voice that's on the live. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm asking for clarification on what it was that you're saying you saw in the bathroom. But she didn't say she saw it in the bathroom, though, right, Novah? She's not saying that she saw it.
No.
She's saying that her someone had to go into the bathroom, like her sister-in-law or something. She said something about had to use the bathroom. But she's not saying that she went into the bathroom.
I don't recall her saying that. Do you want to go
Yeah.
back to that one more time?
Oops. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I hit the stop screen. Oh, hi. Up close and personal. Bye. Okay, so I got to go back to, oh my goodness. Sunny, where's your fingers? Use your darn fingers. Never did go to the bathroom, by the way. Gotta go. Okay, so that was, let's see, was that about here?
But Shelby's with my brother. She
Okay,
Keep people straight.
in and said she needs to use the bathroom. So Maleyha's mother, my partner, and we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, damn, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needs to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
And-
sorry, Haley. Hon, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby, Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, just to get it straight as to who we're talking about so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom. And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so.
Okay, so she does say we went in to investigate.
Okay.
And that's where I think that they were asking her, well, if you went in there, right? Because she's saying the word we, and the Facebook group is asking her to clarify because she does say the word we. Now, she could have just used the word we in the sense of, maybe not including herself, but she does use the word we in there for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So now, but I don't know what the big deal here still is, though, myself, because it's like, okay, there's a couple things going on here. You're going to go into our Facebook group. For what purpose if you're not going to answer questions, right? And then she's getting defensive because people want clarification, because she did say the word we. And I think, and so it was felt by the Facebook group that she was avoiding saying that again, in a sense. So that's why the Facebook group was like, well, why can't you just simply clarify? You use the word we, right? But so you can see this defensive stuff happening by Haley. But Haley, I'm telling you right now, girl, when you go into Facebook groups, and stuff like that, and then you put out information and then you're in Facebook groups, don't get defensive because you're obviously in that Facebook group to talk. So you can't sit there and have your cake and eat it too. People are going to try to ask you questions, so why even, it's kind of like, Daniel, why bother to go into these Facebook groups and all that, right? It's like, why do that? Like, you just, maybe they're just oblivious. I don't know, because there's a lot of the family members in there underneath different names and stuff, listening, watching, and that. But it's when they get defensive about it, then all of a sudden it becomes, well, I don't need to tell you anything you don't need to know, blah, 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 blah. Well, why bother putting yourself out there in the Facebook group then? Just leave it at the video.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I get that, because why go, like, it's honestly, I mean, when you go in there, it's like you're surrounded by, in a sense, piranhas, really, people that
Yeah.
want answers, and you put yourself out there. And if you literally put yourself in the Facebook group, then don't get too angry when people, start blasting you, because you literally put yourself in that situation, and then then you become defensive. So
It's
that's
not as controlled as doing this, because you can kick and block and time
right.
out, and you're really paying attention to it.
Yeah.
You have someone here paying attention to it. You have your wrenches in the room.
Yeah.
So there's a difference, big
There is
time.
a difference. They're
I
definitely.
gotta drop down now, Sunny. But
Yes,
thanks
thank you.
again for having me on.
Oh no, thank you.
I'll put my link in one more time before I leave.
Yes, you guys go
And
support Novah over there. Thank you guys so much.
and anytime you want me to pop on,
Mhm.
I'll try to keep up with my mess. Oh, maybe I don't have a wrench anymore. I
I
don't
gave
think
you a
it's come
wrench. I
up.
didn't take it away. Your wrench is still
Oh,
there.
there. It didn't come up the first time. Or maybe the messages went by so quick I didn't see it. I'm forgetting you have so many people in your room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
thank you so
Well,
much.
lots of love and positive vibes, everyone.
You too.
Take care. And I'll either see you again on with Sunny or on my channel. So,
Yeah.
and don't forget, this is for Jack and Lily, and
Yeah.
just hope that the truth comes out. And people, please keep talking. For the sake of Jack and Lily, honestly, keep speaking the truth, keep coming forward, because they deserve to either be located or justice or whatever the case may be. Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
hmm I mean, thanks so much, Novah. And you guys, again, Novah's channel. Where did it go? Right here. Okay. Go give her support and love over there. Subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Novah. So I did see that message. Something about keep talking. Don't remember the exact words. Something about keep talking out. I was kind of confused by that, to be honest with you. By that particular sentence, and I've just for the most part chose to ignore it, because I didn't know what was meant by that, and I just something about keep saying that or keep talking. I don't know. There was something like that. Again, I don't approve of threats at all in here. And at the end of the day, Darren has his own voice. Other people have their voices too. This is really about the truth coming out. Keep talking. Oh yeah, keep talking. I dare you. You know, um, and I'm not sure what that was supposed to mean. I mean, I know for old school people, I know how we would use that sentence. Like go ahead, keep talking. I dare you. I don't honestly consider that too much of a threat, to be honest, in a sense, because because it's an old school saying, is kind of like meaning, yeah, keep talking, I dare you. It's not saying like, I'm going to do something to you. I'm going to harm you. It just means, yeah, go ahead, keep talking, I dare you. Keep spewing shit. Keep telling lies and stuff like that. Okay. Yes, keep talking. But the thing is that I know, like that again, that's old school. You guys know that when somebody says that. How many times have I heard that expression? A ton. Yeah, it might sound like a threat, but I get it. But well, I guess you could call it a threat that way, but not what I would call like a physical threat. Let me put it that way. So yes, it's like someone, go ahead, Sonny, keep talking. I dare you, keep saying it, whatever. And I'm just going to be like, yeah, whatever. But for a physical threat, no. Wouldn't take it that way at all. But I still didn't understand why he said that. Well, it depends. Like I said, I'm not taking it as a physical threat. A threat. Is it? Would you take it that way? I guess a little bit. Yeah. keep talking, I dare you, but not like I'm going to come to your house and burn it down or something like that. So I just kind of, that's why I left that one alone, because it was kind of like, well, I don't know why he said it in conjunction with somebody speaking. Like the way I took that as is almost like he's saying that she's full of shit, and spewing a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Darren on that one, but when somebody says that, it's kind of like, yeah, keep telling the lies. I dare you. Keep going on. Keep going. So I don't think it's hard to understand what old school means. Old school means old expressions, things that we say in general. That is a typical term to say. Like, it's a typical term to say when you're pissed off at someone, type of thing, and you're having an argument, and you're saying like, go ahead, keep talking, I dare you. Almost like keep talking, I'm going to punch your lights out, if you were in front of them. But obviously he's behind a computer saying it, right? So obviously the old school way would be, if you were two people outside, go ahead, keep talking, I dare you. Keep speaking up. And basically almost going to like say your lights are going to get punched out, But we're talking about over the internet. So what threat is he really doing over the internet? I know that Darren does say things, and he's using what I call old school terms, right? He says a lot of statements that are old school terms, like the word idiot is a constant word that I even use a lot, because it's words that we used growing up, or sentences. So I'm not going to get anything more into that, because honestly, again, it's through the internet and people can contrive it. And if you were together in outside and someone said that, that would be a little bit different story. But we're talking about over the internet. Okay. Everyone knows that Darren does speak a lot, and he does say things that probably he shouldn't say, gets defensive. He said, you guys, he's talked to me like that. When he thought we threw him underneath the bus, he was upset. We talked about it. We apologized to each other, but he said some things to me, and I'm just like, because I know that the old school Darren, right? When we're old school, and take no offense, younger ones, but old school, we have certain things that we would say and how we would say it and how we do things, right? And time evolves into the younger, puff generation, in a sense, where, oh my God, did she just say, to Daniel about the whole, Pokemon ass, and take offense and stuff like that. People don't be hypocrites is all I'm asking on this one. But when it comes to Darren, yeah, he's not exactly graceful in some of his words and how he expresses himself, but it's like my grandma. I take my grandma, she was always bickering about stuff all the time. And it was like, Grandma, is there anything ever good about anything, really? So with my grandma, I never bothered to argue with her, because it was pointless, because my grandma was my grandma. So with Darren, he's old school. He's not 50 or whatever. I'm not even sure what age he is now. He told me, but I forgot. But anyways, he's definitely an old school soul. So take it however you want. I don't know exactly why he was saying that about Haley. Like what he was meaning by that. Like, he has a voice, she has a voice. So there obviously is something that he thinks that she's talking and lying about. So anyways, I was going to say emotionally, you're saying emotionally immature. I think it's kind of like myself, is that when people go on the attack on me, all of a sudden I will lunge forward back at you, right? Because it's kind of like a defense thing that I do, So that's kind of what I do too. If somebody sits there and I see a comment and they're attacking me, I'm going to go up one side of their ass and down the other. And I don't care what words come out of my mouth at that time. But anyways, you guys, I'm dropping that topic just because, again, I don't even know what he meant by that, though, about why he would say that to Haley, besides thinking it was possibly like, yeah, keep talking, keep telling these lies, right? And they could very well be lies. I don't think so myself, but whatever. I'm just taking it all in. So anyways, let's go back to love and care about Jack and Lily. That's why we're here. Okay, guys, we'll get back into that stuff instead of trivial shit that doesn't overly matter, right? That stuff really doesn't matter to me. It's just noise in the background there, you know. Love him or hate him, either way, it's up to you. I'm just taking the information. Are they really? Is who related, Daphne? Daphne is who related? Yeah, sometimes they don't know when it's going to come out exactly, CB. Kind of like Belinda's, right? They did it, but they're not necessarily, they'll let you know when it comes out type of thing. There's Alana. Hey, Alana. How are you doing? How you doing, girl? Darren and Haley. Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, Darren is the cousin to Patty, but Haley is the stepsister, would be from the dad's side, I guess, eh? So I don't think that they're like, related that way, because she's a half sister. Whereas this is Maleyha's grandmother's cousin. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That's probably a good way of saying it. That Darren gets easily triggered. Yeah. You know, again, you know, I know that I'm not even going to justify it, anything at all. He came into a space that he had no idea how it worked. He thought he was just trying to find answers for Jack and Lily. And then he got schooled in how online works. And now he's getting to learn it. Now he understands it a lot more. But he's definitely, like I said, you know, he speaks from his heart with his emotions off of his tongue. You know, I'm the same way. I speak with my heart and off the tongue, and it might not always come off the most gracious or, you know, pleasant sounding, but I just kind of do me, right? That's it. I'm not here for someone to tell me what words I can't say or can't say. You know, like someone left a comment saying, you know, love your lives, whatever, you swear too much. Why? Because I say the word shit, you know? Maybe I drop an F-bomb here or there, you know? So I'm sorry, but I'm not here to live my life around if you can't take the word shit in your life or something like that. But, you know, so meaning the few people that bitch about stuff like that outweigh the people that literally don't care. I don't go around this whole life F-bombing every 2 seconds and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I'll get pissy and drop that word, or sometimes I'll say the word shit or idiot. Kent is Kent. Yeah, he's at the Lobster Festival. Anyways, you guys, I need to go to the bathroom and grab a drink. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to, hold on. I think what I'll do is, just for the sake of it, you guys, just listen to this again. Remove. Okay, just listen to this again as I'm gone for a couple of minutes, if you don't mind, you know, and just talk amongst yourself nicely. Okay, nicely.
Oh, here she comes. Good. It's much better if somebody who was there actually. Welcome, Haley.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so just touching on the subject of the blanket. I've kept pretty quiet. I have a son of my own right. Lily and Jack are my niece and nephew. But yeah, the subject of the blanket, it was found on a tree branch on Lansdowne Station Road in the evening of day 1. Okay. It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door at the home, and it was thrown out. And this one just ended up on a tree, I guess. But yeah.
Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket and took it back to Maleyha for identification?
Yes, Hayden and I did. Yeah.
Okay. And then she said, yeah, it is. And so you called the police who went and, I guess, collected it?
Yeah, no, the police were already down searching that area, but it was in such an open spot that cops were already down there and it wasn't seen earlier on. So it's just all a little mysterious, you know?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So was search and rescue in that area?
I don't believe on day one right down there right away. So I was there from the get-go of when everything started.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know how it was missed because it was right on like the start of like a logging road or ATV trail right by the main Lansdowne Station road, the dirt road. But yeah.
Okay. All right. And the other half, right, was found in the garbage.
I believe so. I wasn't back at the house for that to know that, but that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what Logan said. And yeah, so.
Which is really peculiar, right? Like how, if the blanket was put in the garbage, how did it get out of the garbage?
1 second here. Hey, Dolly. Dolly Vision's in the house. How you doing, buddy? On there. To be honest with you, Dolly, I would love to do a live with you. I don't care if it's on yours or this channel. I'd love to do a live with you on this case together. What's your thoughts? You guys, would you guys like that? Me and Dolly did a live together. I think that would be a great live. I love Dolly's sense of humor. He has a great one. Right up my alley on there. Especially the muffins. Anyways, would you do that? Okay. I'm not sure what your do you have your email? Mine's at crime. You know what, Dolly, mine's at crimingshame@gmail.com. If I'm not sure if you have Messenger or not, but at crimingshame@gmail.com. I think that would be a great live, to be honest with you. You know, have some fun at it, in a sense. Shoot the shit about the case. But anyway, I think that would be a great live to do together. Because I love his humor, love his little tiki bar. Anyways, nice to see you in here, Dolly. I gotta put myself down over here, actually. Now, you guys, I am expecting a grocery order to come in anytime. I scheduled it between 3 to 5. It's now almost 4 o'clock. So just know, it's not because I don't love you, but I want my groceries with my ice cream in it more than I love you guys right now. Okay? Anyways, nice to see you in here, buddy. On there. Thank you. Again, Dolly knows this as well. There was a lot of people covering this case at the start, actually. And, you know, a lot of people have gone off it. Dolly's one of the few in the United States. I shouldn't say it one of the few because there are a lot of, you know, tarot card readers and different people. But, you know, his channel, my channel are probably the biggest ones that are covering this case to bring awareness and attention to Jack and Lily for that. So anyways, again, it's always about the missing and the murdered first and foremost. So thank you for stopping by. Say hi to PJ for me. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Oh my God, even sounds amazing. I think that would be a wild, and whether Dolly wants to do it on this channel or his channel, probably his channel. It seems, yeah, probably his channel because he got more viewers and stuff like that, more subs over there. Get going. But anyways, if you want to email me, Dolly, and we can try to set up a day and time and stuff like that. Would love it. Love to come and hang out with you. Did I? Sorry, I'm like coming in. You guys, shh. Belinda's in the house. Everyone on your best behavior right now. Hi, Belinda. It's okay, Belinda. You know, it's just, again, it's just really nothing new, nothing to see, nothing new to see here. Really, it's just kind of, Novah was on with me talking about the video, keeping the awareness of Lily and Jack. So when I have my days, because I won't be able to do a live on Monday or Tuesday because my shifts are 12 to 8, you know. But Dolly, I always have Friday, Saturday off. Oh, wait, hold on. When's my anniversary? Shit. My wedding anniversary. My my wedding anniversary is next Friday. Yeah, I guess that's important. Perhaps. I don't know. He's a night owl. I'm a night owl too. So all good. Anyways, you guys, let's just take a look here. 340 likes. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for that. And yeah, you know, I'm not really, I don't really have too much more that I really want to talk about right now. I'm gonna eye that Kit Kat ice cream when it comes. I'm telling you that much. So I'll just look at what you guys are saying for a few minutes. Okay, guys. Let's go to you guys in here. No, I don't think Dolly's joining me now. Okay, I got my grocery orders coming, you guys. I'm not sure if it's going to be in 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But we'll hopefully, like I said, Dolly will get together, and I would love to do a live with Dolly. You know, he's funny. He makes true crime. True crime is a heavy space to be in. Sometimes people get mad and they're like, you know, you're talking about a case and you're joking around. Nothing to do with that at all. Has never take away from cases whatsoever. But you know what? At the end of the day, again, we're not the family members. We're covering cases. You have to be lighthearted at times when you're in chat. Again, but we never joke about a case. You know, we never joke about the fact of Lily and Jack or any other case of the missing and stuff like that. But to have fun amongst the live in a sense and stuff like that, absolutely. Thank you for subscribing, Wendy Todd. I want to say thank you guys all again, right? Thank you for all your love and support for this channel. Okay, you guys have made this channel grow, you know, about 3,000 people worth in the course of covering this case. I appreciate that. This channel is about the murdered and the missing and about bringing awareness to those cases. So I do thank you guys, considering we cover a lot of cases outside of Canada, and we have covered some cases like the Pictou. You guys, if you guys don't know it, I literally live 20 minutes away from the old Pictou farm. So we covered that case. I went down there, took a picture of the different area of like how it looks now. Crazy, right? There's still some pieces there, but it just happened to weirdly snow in the middle of nowhere land. So anyone that knows the Pictou farm case, you know, we covered that, covered a few other ones there. But anyways, so I'm very proud, obviously, to be a Canadian. You know, thank you guys for supporting this channel and getting to know it through this case for the people that didn't know about it. And again, we cover cases that capture our hearts. It's always pure and generic, pure and genuine in everything that I do. Sometimes you just see pictures and you're just like, I can't believe that these children are missing. And then when there's a weird story or the oddity of children, what makes it strange, that's when really people pick it up, when people can't understand how these children are now just gone. You know, for Jack and Lily, it's weird, it's strange, there's lies going on, the truth will come out. Know that. All we can do is bring you the information, and we bring you a lot of information. So again, don't slag it, be grateful for it. Belinda, yeah, it's all informative for absolutely. I love this lady so much. She's a huge, you know, about children and animals, such as myself as well. Again, it's been a couple months, guys, right? For all the family members that are out there that are dealing with this hole in their heart every single day, wanting answers to Jack and Lily. There's a point, like look at Sebastian Rogers' case, right? And so when you look at Sebastian Rogers' case, and that was since, okay, what was it? February 20, was it? Geez, Dolly, February 25th. Well, the 25th was the last day he was seen, okay? But the 26th is when he supposedly disappeared. But really, it's the 25th. That's of 2024, you guys. We're a year and a half into Seth Rogers, the biological father, you know, fighting to find out what happened to his son, Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian Rogers, is on the autism spectrum, and he was 15 years old when suddenly he just Houdini'd out of there, right? There's with all the, this space right here for Pictou, okay? Sebastian Rogers case, neighborhood cameras, doorbell cameras, nothing. You guys, nothing. Nothing to show what happened to Sebastian Rogers. The truth lies there somewhere, just like the truth lies here with Jack and Lily. But it's always about the awareness, right? It doesn't matter if we're talking about Daniel, Maleyha, whatever. The goal is that if somebody sees this live, has some guilt, has some knowledge, don't know about the case, whatever the reason might be, that it brings awareness to Jack and Lily. So Belinda, much love. I know it's been a long haul for you, and it does. It takes a toll, right? It reminds me of like divorces and stuff. These type of cases too, where you don't know what happened. It's kind of like everyone goes through those. Hi, baby Tudo 71. Thank you for becoming a member on there. Let's see here. Belinda Gray, hi. Can you clear up something for us? Haley and Maleyha do not share a mother or a father. Well, Haley already said her stepmother, right? So that would mean it would have to be the father. Because Haley already said that my stepmother. Alana wants Alana. Wait, what? Does Alana want to come on? Does Alana want to come up with me? You want to come up here, Alana? She knows I am way too shy. I said, wait, what? Wait. She knows I'm. Come on. I'll knock the shyness out of you. You know that. Okay, well, if that's what you're saying, I'll give you the link. I'll knock the shyness out of anybody. This is YOLO. You only live once, right? You only live once. And it's not like, so I'm going to send you the link, Lana, if you are wanting to come up. It's in your messenger right now. Thank you, baby Tudo. Booby Tudo. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Going on a piece of cake. Wait, is she? Come on, Alana. Get up here. Get your Pokemon ass up here. Haley's asked us to hate it, and he is the stepbrother to Maleyha. Thank you so much. Look at you, Booby. Does she want to come up? Come on, Alana. Let's do this. Come on now. YOLO. She hasn't looked at her messenger. Me too, Alana. Careful, Sonny. People might think you're threatening Alana. I'll knock you in the shyness out. I know, right? Oh, my goodness. Gonna desert you as soon as my Kit Kat ice cream comes here. Swear. Thanks so much, Booby. You got me thinking South when I read that name now, right? On there. Hey, Margaret, you're the one that said I swear too much. You're the one that left that comment, on there. I know what you said. I'm not here to please just you, okay? I do Sonny. So either you like me, Margaret, or you don't. One of the two. You don't have to watch me, all right? But I know it was you that left that comment about, I love you. You guys are doing a great job, da-da-da-da. But I think that it turned me off that you swear too much. Well, shit. If that's what pisses you off, then don't watch me. I don't live for you, though. I live for myself. Thank you so much. Okay, wait. Did Alana say she wanted to come up, you guys? on there. Studies how most. I'm just no. See, she's not. I don't know. Hey, Vanessa. Cool van, by the way. She sent me a couple pictures on that. Nope, not that I saw. Okay. So what are you guys trying to put pressure on innocent shy Alana? You guys wait. See? You guys lied to me. I will talk in chat, but I don't got the gut. I'm gonna give her, she's gonna get the guts one day, right? Just like Belinda, yeah? Belinda, it took her till the timing was right, that she felt was right to come up here, right? It's not as bad as you think. Like I said, I can knock the shyness out of everyone. All right, that might be a threat. I got a big mouth, yes, and love making noise for these two, but can't do it. My heart is pounding. Lana. You'll come up here one day. Yeah. You know what? Maybe you should just take one of those chill pills that possibly Daniel might be taking. Well, actually, I don't think it's chill pills, but anyways. Okay, guys. you guys had me going. I was like, Alana, really? I guess she's got the kahunas now, and she's like, yeah, let me on up there. I'll talk. She'll come up here one day, perhaps, eh? Sorry, I'm fishing, and I'm back and forth in my tablet. Yes, my parents are Cuban. I was born here in New Jersey. We walked in, which I was born and raised in Miami Beach, Florida. Oh, well, nice to have you here. Thank you for your membership, gifting of a membership, and the super sticker on there. Lana. Okay, we will plan it for another night. You know what? Just remember, Alana. I mean, trust me. You can practice with me like Belinda did in the back room a day before, and you'll understand that honestly, it's like two people sitting around a table just, talking, And by the way, I want to say this. Belinda speaks very eloquently. When she speaks, like me, I'm always like, you know what I mean, type of thing. Belinda speaks very clear, and listening to her is really nice when she was talking about, Jack and Lily and the, going over the live that one day with us. She does a really good job at that. And I know her daughter comes in here, Chelsea, as well. So biggest hugs, you guys. You guys know how much you guys mean to me from the gray side over there, just for keeping the fight alive for Lily and Jack, bringing the awareness, bringing any information you can, amongst all the noise and all that stuff. It's, for me personally, it's getting to a point that, like I said, people are coming out of the woodwork. I love seeing that, right? Talk. Go ahead. Come on out. Haley, come on up on the live. Let's go. Come on. Let's talk some more, because again, if there's nothing to hiding, you just want to put out the truth because of Lily and Jack. So I understand when Haley said that she was like, I was really pissed off because, again, in a mother's eyes, you're putting your child in this situation and you know it. Like, these are your children. How could you literally put them in harm's way or in this way, right? So absolutely. I'm too yeehaw and cuss so much, I couldn't do it either. Well, Margaret wouldn't like you then. All right, Shell? Margaret wouldn't like you. Alana, you can do it, sweetness. Oh, now look at this. Lana, sweetie pie. Muffin top. Let's go. Lana, if I could do it, so can you. Yeah. Or plot twist, Belinda and Lana. Right? How about that, apples? Oh, threw that out there. Yes, I did. Let's see if it sticks. Maybe Lana will do it if Belinda does it again, and just wants to speak out, not get into the drama stuff, but just, speak out about Jack and Lily, because that's what they're there for, guys. Okay. They're fighting for Jack and Lily about the fundraiser, so if they both want to come up and, like I said, we talk about all the goodness of Jack and Lily and all the fundraising stuff, and stuff like that. If they want to do that and feel more comfortable, instead of getting, because you guys, Belinda has already spoken. If sometimes there's questions that she might have the answer to, certainly it's one of those things like somebody just asked, hey, Belinda, can you tell me if the father, but remember, Belinda only knows so much as well, just like anyone else, right? But she has obviously insight into Maleyha, because her and her son Cody had the relationship together, which produced these beautiful babies here. You, Sonny, because you're perfect. Go on. Go on, Shannon. I got time for a moment. Nah, I was going to comment to her. I was going to comment to her, why delete it? Why delete what? Why delete what? Oh, wait, what? What do you mean delete what? Somebody deleted something? Me and you, Belinda, will do. Here we go. Me, you, and Belinda will do it one night. But I got to, come on now. Okay. You got one night to work yourself up, Belinda. Yeah, give her some of your warrior bravery going on there, right? Remember, Jack and Lily. I don't want to sit there and try to use blackmail on you, but it's for Jack and Lily. Put yourself to the side there, Alana. Yeah, it's Jack and Lily. Anyways, we'll talk about it. We'll see what's up with that. You guys know that Alana King, she'll be holding another vigil on August 2nd. A bunch of stuff. She's more prepared. Okay, guys? More prepared. She's a fighter, right? She's what I call kind of like Belinda. She's a Powerpuff chick, right? And your fighters, your warriors and stuff like that. And she's going to fight her way up onto this live with Belinda. And we're going to talk about again, the fundraiser and stuff like that. Jack and Lily, perhaps, and stuff like once, of course, she builds herself up. She'll do it. She'll do it. She'll do it. Yeah. Now she's probably sitting there like all anxious and yeah, no, nothing to be nervous about. Again, we can easily practice it in the back room. His aren't chill bills. No, you're right. Because he was freaking dodging going past helicopters. I mean, if there's one thing that was clear about what Haley said as well, is that she's like coming off as the superhero, right? That everyone else was doing nothing. And I know Belinda took a little bit of offense to that as well, because it's like, dude, you like literally are coming across like you're the superhero that's freaking being from Spidey branches, passing the freaking helicopters and drones, and you're freaking impaling almost your body there, and nobody's ever gonna know that. Okay, I mean that part is just so, it's comical. I'll just put it that way. It's comical during two children that are missing, and he's being braggadocious about how much he's done. But that could exactly be, his personality trait. Okay. Again, narcissist in our making here. Pathological liar could be. Can't rule it out, because nobody goes on about the people that go on about how great they are. Usually it's because like they're usually a narcissist, pathological liar in there, and they can get away with being like that. We don't know. Hope Cody is doing okay. Absolutely. These are his children regardless. I think Cody would just be overjoyed like anyone if he knew that these children were still alive and out there. It's a miracle. It's a long shot. It is. But we'll pray for a miracle. Yeah, but it's like people like that Margaret one. I'd be saying all kinds of bad words. Well, see, Belinda will nudge you on the side. I'm so over caring about hurting feelings. I just want Lily and Jack. Yeah, imagine us both losing our shit on the live, Alana. Only one of us can. But yeah, nah, it's one of those things. Like I said, I'm not going to stress you out. We'll do a live tomorrow after my work. Okay, Alana? No, we'll talk about it. If it's meant to be, it will be. Okay, guys. I do want to go and join up with Dolly on his channel. I think that will be a great live for viewers to come in and see me and Dolly do a live together. I think that would be awesome for this case. To probably do it on this channel. Oh, Margaret, you're just pissing your pants now that I called you out, aren't ya? So you are all out for views. That's all it is. You're just an old and miserable hag, aren't you there, Margaret? Why sat he like and Jack for Lily? You really only care about the views. Sickening. Yeah, unsubbing. Oh my God, please. Unsub, resub, unsub, resub, unsub, resub. You old bitter lady, you. That's all you are. You just didn't like the fact that I called you out for your stupid comment on my video. But it's okay because people like you, Margaret, you know what? Seriously, go have yourself a more miserable day than you are as a miserable person. Because people like you, honestly, you don't even deserve to be in the true crime space. Because I'm sure Belinda feels like it's all about clicks and views, right? Absolutely. You're offending me now. Not really. You're just an old hag with nothing else to do. Ban. Bye bye. There you go. There you go, Margaret. She was pissed off. I called her out. Whatever. So, anyways, don't you love that though? They try to twist it right back on you. They leave that comment about how you should run your channel, and then you call them out, and then they want to say you're just doing it for clicks and views. You rotten people, you. Anyways, anyways, you guys, what time is it? I think I'm gonna honestly get going now. I do have my groceries coming soon, and right now I'm just wasting space probably. But let me go do this, guys. Again, I will go to this. Let's do this. Stop screen. So let's bring this up. I know, Alana. I gotta order my key rings. I haven't forgotten. So of course. This is the website here, you guys. It's the one that pops up by Streamlabs that runs through the cycle with me here. Okay. If you're not in it for Jack and Lily, yeah, please then leave. If you're not in it for Jack and Lily and the awareness and the information that goes along with this stuff. I see. Lana's probably going, Sonny, you were calm there. I probably would have went to about 5 or 10 minutes longer than you on that rant. Sometimes you just need that release, not sometimes you do. You just need that release. Anyone that ever considers this channel for taking for clicks and views, I don't got the time of the day to put up with those type of people. That's just ridiculous. Okay, so this is, of course, you guys, is the website. You guys, however you wish to help out through bracelets, through keychains, through the decals and stuff like that, through donations to the GoFundMe. Oh, my husband's here. One sec. Okay, so you guys, my husband, hi Haley May. You guys, thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate that. I gotta get going. My groceries are here. Apparently, my husband says the driver's gonna be here in about 5 minutes. 371 likes. See if we can get that to over 400. You guys. Other than that, Jack and Lily. If you're not a member, want to become a member, it's $1.99. Are you out of your mind? Right? So thank you again, Booby, Bubby on there. Anyways, you guys, it's been a pleasure again with you guys today. I might do one later. I might. It depends. If I got something to say. Anyway, so I have to work tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So I might. I'll think about it. Anyways, you guys stay blessed. Don't forget, Jack and Lily, keep the awareness. Hit the like, hit the share. Thank you, Belinda, for coming in. Thank you, Alana, for all you and Bree and everyone that you guys are doing. Thanks. You know what? I just want to say this. Thanks to all the content creators. Thanks to all you people out there. Thanks to everyone that hits the like and the share. Thanks for all your donations to the channel, for your love and support. Not expected, but appreciated. Okay. So, and if you are a member, obviously you can use the Jack and Lily emote down there. I actually can create a new emote, I'm pretty sure now. So you guys stay blessed. Might see you later, might not. Other than that, take care and love you guys all for all your love and support. Okay, guys, grocery time. It's Kit Kat ice cream time.